Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
Talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy Austin Ward. My good buddy Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Tiberi here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah.
And then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only two guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's do it live on a Tuesday edition of the program. Bo and the boys with you for the next three, loaded up with a capital L. 9:30, Ryan Day from his program last night, so you have that to look forward to, which is nice. 10 o'clock, we hit you with the real truth. Does Julian Sayin have to outplay Arch Manning for Ohio State to win on Saturday? Dom's going to join at 10:30, 11 o'clock. Speaking of Arch Manning, he had his media availability yesterday down in Austin. You'll hear from him on that. And Justin Zwick, new to the fan team, the great Jay-Z, will join us at 11:30. Ryan Day's going to have his press conference today. It's going to be at noon. I was thinking a little bit about Coach Day over the last 24, 48 hours or so. He's 70-10 as the head coach here. He is 70-10. He is 46-5 in conference play. The losses, they're names you know. It's Clemson. It's Clemson in 19, Bama in 20, Oregon in 21, Georgia in 22, Missouri in 23. Yeah, that game actually did take place in the Cotton Bowl, as much as I tended to forget it right recently.
Ignore that ever happened.
Forget that one. One loss to Oregon last year, of course, and then the 4 to Michigan. Last year, the most stupefying of those 4. Ryan Day is the best person that I've known to coach Ohio State football. He's just a damn good dude. He's just a really good guy. And the others were good guys, too, that I knew. Tress was a good guy. Urban was the most direct guy you're ever going to find. Ask Urban a question, get an answer. We've been blessed. We've talked about this a lot. We've been blessed by the coaches here. But he's the best guy to coach. Lovely family. Is someone who does all of the things right off the field, does things that you don't even know about, not for attention, but because out of the goodness of his heart, it's what it's all about. He's also the best offensive mind we've ever had here. Full stop. Best offensive mind. I don't know that that's particularly close. What we have become, what this program has become since Ryan Day has been in charge of it, and really since he got on board as offensive coordinator, is the preeminent offensive powerhouse in college football. This is not what you're entitled to as a Buckeye fan. This is not your history. Not at all. Not at all is this your history. This is far from it. But this is your present and it's your future as long as he's there. Those things are, in my view, undisputable. Now, here is the thing that is the hitch. And it is the Michigan game, and obviously he's lost 4 in a row. And if you go back to the one last year, which is the most stupefying of all of them, and we can all remember it in our minds, the loss, it going final, the scrum at midfield, and Ryan looking back on it, trying to make sense of what the last 3.5 hours were. That's what it was. It was a man looking back going, what just happened? It's like you get out of a car accident, you look back and go, my God, how did that happen? I'm just going to work. That was kind of the way that it felt. That was my feeling watching Ryan lose that game, and personally wanted it so bad from him. All of you, we all wanted it so bad. I mean, it was the one you had to get. We'll never know if that loss was necessary for what followed to happen. We'll never know that. I think we can all say that it didn't hurt. That it didn't hurt. And Ryan had 2 choices. And actually, Jake Trotter, who's on with us tomorrow, wrote an incredible piece about the aftermath of that game and everything that Coach Day and his family dealt with following, which, by the way, some of it's just utterly shameful. Just utterly shameful, the behavior of some people, especially in regard to family. Just outrageous. But that is a problem of the few, not the many. I think the many have his back, and certainly because of what happened since, have it even more so. But what I'm curious about is, Ryan Day walked into an arena, got punched in the mouth. He and his football team got up and then won the fight. Did that fundamentally change who he is as a coach? Did that fundamentally change his approach? Because the approach that we saw in the Michigan game was in no way similar to the approach that we saw through the playoff. The approach we saw through the playoff was a swaggering, two fists out forward, punching with all its might Buckeye football program. That was not the team you saw against Michigan. That was not the approach you saw against Michigan. It was almost as if Ryan Day said, I'm all in, and we all are. Now, what we don't know is if that will carry over to this season. Now, there are many factors that you have to take into account before you can try to assess what you're going to see on Saturday. And one of them, I think, for sure, is you got a redshirt freshman quarterback. You don't have an NFL guy, 5 years, all sorts of starts under center. You got a kid making his first ever start. If there was a quarterback lineage where this was a guy who had waited 2 or 3 years, who we'd seen, even if it was like Haskins and he came into the Michigan game and had to lead a big drive, we don't have any of that with Julian. Will that affect the way Ryan Day coaches this game? Or is the Ryan Day that we saw in the playoff, who was conqueror of all, right? He's Julius Caesar, right? Is that the guy we see this season? Is that the guy we see Saturday? Or is this because of some of the factors, namely at quarterback, does it change it? That's one of the things I can't wait to see, because Ryan Day was a man in the arena. He got knocked down. He got up, and his team won it all. My hunch is that freed him in a lot of ways. And I think what you're going to see, I do think this, we'll get more specifically later down the road in terms of the script and how this is going to go in the approach. I do think you'll see a fearless Ohio State team on Saturday. I do. I don't know if it'll manifest. People sometimes think fearless means 41-38. I don't think you're getting that type of game, but I do think you'll see a fearless approach, and I think they will trust their talent on Saturday. I really do. And I think he came out of it a changed man and a better man.
I was just about to say, an experience like that with everything what he and his team, the people closest to him, went through on November 30th, and then the aftermath, I think it changes you as a human. Like, I don't know how it could not. And what you saw in those 4 games of the college football playoff were a direct result of that. So while I think it's always the most fun radio conversation to have, like, did Ohio State need the Michigan game for that playoff run? It certainly didn't hurt. Yeah. And I certainly think there is carryover into this season, because you have one of the principal pieces of any college football team, I'm willing to say ever, in Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah.
And if all the reports are true and what we've seen with our own 2 eyes, it's only gotten better for him. And having that is a great source of inspiration for Ohio State. I think Vegas looks at it similarly, and probably a great source of fear and consternation for Texas. And if it's not, it should be.
Yeah.
I hope you're right, Bo, with that, because if Ohio State plays scared in this game against Texas, they are not going to win. And there's a difference between letting it all hang out and being aggressive and being reckless. Ohio State needs to be aggressive in this game. And I understand that there could be trepidation in that because of so many unknowns. And you lost so many guys from last season. And listen, Texas is a dangerous team, right? Yeah. They're one of the few teams athletically that can hang with you on the field. But you have to be aggressive, especially in this day and age of football. You have to go for it a little bit. Yeah. There are times when you need to be conservative, but you need to get to that point first. You have got to come out swinging on Saturday.
Yeah, I tend to think so as well. And to kind of buttress what you said there, that fine line's the one they're going to walk. Right? Being aggressive, reckless. Reckless loses, aggressive wins. I did some radio this morning down in Austin with ESPN affiliate down there, and I think we kind of all see this thing the same, right? I think we all kind of view it as like, this is about the most fun you can have on an opening weekend, but both of these teams aren't going anywhere. And it's really very possible, maybe even likely, that they'll play twice. If you look at the power and the talent in the sport, it's these two, it's Georgia, Might be Oregon. It's definitely Clemson, Penn State. You can count them. You can count. If I were to tell you, you can have these 6 or you can have the field, all of you would take those 6. And you're one of those 6. And because of the way that the schedule sets up, it's one of those games where you can let it all hang out and you can be aggressive. And I think they will be. That doesn't mean you throw bombs over Baghdad every play and you drop Julian Sandback 52 times. That's not what I'm saying. But I also think that you will see an Ohio State team that does not lack for confidence and lacks entirely of fear. And I think that is because of the changed man that their coach is. He is the man in the arena now. He came out better. He came out a champion. And now this is almost like the beginning of the second stage of his run at Ohio State. And it just so happens to start with the biggest opener we've ever had around here. It's going to be a fun week. It already is. It's not lacking for controversy. Thanks for nothing, Fox. I'll explain coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Wake up with The Fan. Eat lunch with The Fan. Go to bed with The Fan. Dream about The Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Imagine what it would feel like getting tackled head-on by a 240-pound linebacker. You'd be in serious pain, right? But if you're unbuckled in a car crash, at just 50 miles an hour, you become a deadly projectile that can slam into other passengers with 8 times that amount of force. Don't let someone else take the hit. Buckle up and visit buckleup.ohio.gov to learn more. Brought to you by ODOT and ODPS.
This is Ryan Krieger, and at Krieger Ford, we know life's busy. Let us handle your car care. Enjoy our convenient pickup and delivery service, or have our technicians come to you with our mobile service van. It's fast, easy, and hassle-free. Schedule your appointment today, only at KriegerFord.com.
This Labor Day weekend, we're celebrating Bob's Discount Furniture's 200th store milestone with the entire Bob's family across the country. For more than 30 years, we've believed everyone deserves the home they love. That's why we brought our everyday low prices on furniture, mattresses, and more to over 200 locations from coast to coast and counting. Not to mention free treats for the whole family in our cafes. Celebrate Bob's Discount Furniture's 200 store milestone this Labor Day weekend.
Oh, my Bob.
The roof of your home protects what matters most in your life. Your family, your memories, your peace of mind. So when it comes time to replace the roof over your head, you need a name you can trust. Newman Roofing. Don't just take our word for it. Here's our friend Cindy on why she chose Newman Roofing over all the rest.
We had interviewed and talked with several other roofing companies around the city. The salesperson that came to speak with us was extremely knowledgeable, answered questions, took his time with us. We were happy to make Newman our choice.
And you'll have peace of mind knowing that on the day of the installation, we'll give you and your home the respect it deserves.
The guys arrived right on time. The crew leader came and talked with us, let us know what they were going to be doing. He was here all day with the crew. That itself was very impressive.
If you're thinking about your roofing or siding, give Newman Roofing a call today.
We were very happy with our experience, and we would highly recommend Newman to anybody we talk to.
Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof. Call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
Delaware County Veterans Services is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Give Delaware County Veterans Services a call, 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment.
Morning Juice is live on YouTube. Weekday mornings starting at 6. Or on demand whenever you want it. Yeah, whenever. Bobby Carpenter's at your beck and call. And Tito's there too, you know, to clean the toilets. Head to YouTube and subscribe today.
At the Ohio Lottery, we make Keno fun. Your way. That means every few minutes across Ohio, 20 out of 80 possible numbers are randomly picked. And if some of the numbers you picked match, voila, you're a winner. Keno doesn't require you to know a single thing about sports, skidball, or overs, unders, pluses, minuses, or lines, or whatever else. Keno is as simple as, did some of my numbers match? They did? Great. You just raked in some dough. There are more than 20 hours of Keno draws every day and thousands of places to play statewide. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
2 hours ago, Kyle arrived at the bar.
Hey, what's everyone drinking?
30 minutes ago, Kyle got his friends another round of drinks.
Cheers!
5 minutes ago, Kyle decided to drive home drunk. A minute ago, a law enforcement officer pulled up behind Kyle.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
A chain of events that began 2 hours ago is about to change Kyle's whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
The crisp feeling of fall is in the air, so you might need a light jacket today as daytime highs only get into the low 70s. We'll see clouds increase throughout the day, although there will be some sunshine mixed in. And we could see a stray shower or two, otherwise mainly dry. Decreasing clouds tonight with lows in the 40s to low 50s again. And then for Wednesday, a tad bit warmer with more sunshine and highs in the mid-70s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
The radio couldn't contain us, so we've taken over YouTube. Catch Morning Juice weekday mornings at 6 by searching 971 The Fan. Do it. The uncle you never knew you had. The friends you kind of wish you didn't. This is Bishop and Friends.
This is one of my, it's one of my biggest concerns as a parent of 3 boys, is how do you know? I mean, there's a reason that we call the segment The Real Truth, right? Now, it came down to that. The inspiration for that was Bootsy lying and me finally saying, now, is that the real truth? And then he would tell the truth when he was really little. Now he just lies all the time. But in the old days, that would get him to flip. I don't know how, in this day and age, you get the real truth. There are so many things that pull you from one direction or the other. So the latest example of this was Monday. This was Monday night. There was stuff circulating around the socials that Ohio State had banned Barstool founder Dave Portnoy, who is now going to appear on the Fox pregame show this season, that they banned him from the shoe. And multiple outlets reported this, that he had been banned. And then that mobilized the Barstool army to talk about how soft it was and how weak it was of Ohio State to do that. And it started to gain momentum. So much so that Connor Stallions tweeted to Portnoy, "You need tickets." Which, as much as I despise the dude, is a hell of a tweet. It's a good use of social media. You got to give him credit for that. Like, sucks, but they got away with all of it. Now, he didn't. He's never going to be in college football the rest of his life, but they certainly did. And Portnoy's at the middle of that. Nobody thought to, and I deserve a little bit of blame on this too. Nobody thought to just ask Ross Bjork. Like, this ran wild last night, and nobody just said, I don't know, maybe we should just ask Ross, ask somebody at Ohio State if this happened. So Ross Dellinger did. He asked Ross, and guess what? Ohio State did not issue a ban on Dave Portnoy. Ross Bjork told Yahoo Sports and Ross Dellinger that Fox decided Portnoy would not be on the main desk of Big Noon Kickoff, and those not on the desk do not normally appear on the field. These are Fox decisions, he emphasized. The Big Ten was also found here in the last couple of minutes. They reached out to the Big Ten, and the Big Ten said the same, that these are Fox decisions to do this or not. We live in a world where there is no accountability for what you say that is incorrect. You can say and do almost anything, and it's almost like, yeah, on to the next. Just forget about it. We're on to the next. We have an ADD, on to the next problem, the next crisis, the next this. And there's no holding anybody accountable for any of it. And I think if you probably just would have asked Ross or Ohio State or the Big Ten or somebody at Fox, they would have given it. But guess who wins in this? Even with it all being disproven now. Big Noon, Dave Portnoy, because we're talking about it. They went viral last night talking about it. They win. It brings attention to their shared enterprise, the Fox pregame show, which is going head-to-head with Game Day on Saturday. And if Fox doesn't win, that'd be a pretty big blow to Fox. The game's on their air. From a ratings perspective, you should win in the pregame world. And it's hyper competitive. And so this just adds the fuel to the fire on this thing. I would be honest with you. When I put this in the show sheet and I read it, and I saw this stuff happening last night, my initial thought was, that just doesn't seem like something Ohio State would do. Now, on the same side, I get if they were going to ban, I get it. Because Dave, as brilliant as he is in business, and he's as smart as anybody you're going to find on that, and in terms of building that brand, you're not going to find a better brand builder in the last 20 years than that. It's remarkable what they've done, from slinging newspapers to what it's become. But at the same time, they are still about attention and look at me and all of the things that come with it. And it's won for them, and they're attempting to get it to win for Fox. Now, I do think Fox, as the home of the Big Ten, not every game they do is a Michigan game. And this is a long way beyond partisanship. This isn't even like Desmond Howard on game day with his smirking and all of that, which it's always blown my mind that he gets to live on that standard. And Herb Street always had to toe the company line and not be biased, but Desmond could be as biased as he wanted to be, that those two guys were on the same set and they had almost different rules. That was always interesting to me. But this is the new day and age. And it pleases me that this was not what it was proposed to be. It vexes me that this is now the world we live in, we've been here for a while, that it's so difficult to tell what is real and what is not. And it is concerning, as someone who does this and someone who's raising children, to try to tell the difference between what's real and what's not, because it's never been more difficult.
I do believe that discussions were had about the Fox Big Noon Kick Crew and kind of the makeup of that relative to when they do the show on the outside and when they bring it into the Horseshoe. Yeah. This was yesterday. Austin and Berm do weekly now a live show from Roosters, and Bob was on it yesterday. Justin Zwick was on it yesterday, and they were talking about, that's where I first saw it, was Austin Ward and Bobby Carpenter having the discussion on the live show from Roosters on our YouTube channel. And it had made sense when they were discussing it that you have people within Ohio State, you have big name boosters, you have stewards of Ohio State athletics that would go to Ross Bjork, that would have discussions internally about, we cannot have this clown making a mockery of us. Yeah. And I do believe that there are those out there who, if they write big enough checks, if they make big enough donations to the university, they've got Ross and they've got Ryan's ear at almost any given time. And so I can believe that both of those, Ryan and Ross, heard the consternation from some within the donor base yesterday about, this guy cannot be on campus, or this guy cannot be around our program or around in Ohio State and Texas. Can this please just be about football? And so do I believe that the discussions were had? Yes. But I'm also glad, to your point, that Ross finally had came out to Ross and said, this isn't going to be the case. And even Fox, to, I don't know if it's their credit or not, said that only people involved with the live desk show talking football will be allowed into the stadium to do a live desk show talking football before the big football game. Like, this doesn't need to be that kind of added circus. I agree with that, because I do think Ohio State's above having to issue something about a ban for a circus clown.
Yeah.
So I believe if this were true and Ohio State did do this, that's the bigger mockery, right? Like, you're in for bigger things there if you did ban him than just having his act in there in the shoe. I wonder, like, just because he's not going to be inside the stadium and inside the shoe on the desk, is he still going to be there? Because if he's coming to Columbus for this game and to be a part of that show, you would think usually those guys, unless they have to go somewhere else and do something else, like Herbie will usually have to take off because he's got a game to call. Usually those guys stick around and they're on the sidelines and they watch the game.
Sure.
So I wonder if Portnoy is on the pass list and is going to be inside the shoe as a member of the media on Saturday, or if he is not. And that would still, like, did Fox ask for a credential for him or not? Did Barstool ask for a credential for him or not? This is all just kind of weird. Like, if Ohio State, if it was true, which Ross Bjork has come out and said it wasn't, but if it would have been true, that would have I believe, put Ohio State under a lot more scrutiny for not letting him in.
Aside from Urban, who's, I think, the best pregame analyst in the business, aside from Urban, what exactly has Fox, other than write checks, done for Ohio State? I mean, honestly. Like, we got to play every game at noon.
They're really big checks.
They're big checks. We got to play that at noon. They're bringing on, honestly, they're bringing on one of the most prominent Michigan boosters to be a part of their pregame show all year. I mean, this isn't a former player. He's a pundit. He's a business owner, multimillionaire, all those things. But he's one of the most prominent Michigan boosters. He's a big part of why Underwood is at Michigan and not at LSU. And they hired him, and they put him on their pregame show. How good of a partner is Fox? The checks are nice. But every big game ever is going to be played at noon, and you got to deal with this stuff too. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. And my hunch is that if I were Ross Bjork, if I were Top Gun Ted, if I were Ryan Day, I'd be taking mental notes of all this stuff. And when it comes back around to redo this television deal.
Oh, leave Fox.
Yeah, I got notes. I'm Arya Stark. I got a list. Here are transgressions.
Because you see ESPN throwing around money. You don't think they'd want to get in bed with the Ohio State brand?
Of course they would.
When this deal's up, I mean, this was even when the Texas or when the noon kick stuff was happening.
Yeah.
It was, I think, more evident then than it would be for this Barstool nonsense of Fox isn't doing Ohio State any favors. Yes, they're writing a big check, but this isn't a partner that you can rely on to do what's best for both parties.
I don't think so.
That's why Fox was so desperate to get into bed with Barstool, because they needed something like this.
Yeah, they needed the boost. Yeah, they did.
Fox sucks. So let's leave them. Right?
Well, I think I'm noting all this if I'm the powers that be. All of this matters. Think you know sports trivia? Here's your shot to score tickets to Ohio State and Texas. No, not right now. This is a chance to play for Ohio State Texas tickets. It's a season kickoff trivia tournament. It's Friday, August 29th at the O on Lane. Bring the heat, bring your A game, bring a teammate. Sign up your two-person team right now at 971thefan.com. The season kickoff trivia tournament is sponsored by Logan Services. Let's go. Eighth caller at 821-9710 is going to win the chance to play for Ohio State Texas tickets on Friday during the season kickoff trivia tournament. Ryan Day, his media availability set for noon today. We will carry it. He was on Roundtable last night. You'll hear from him in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Whether you're building a single roof or a successful roofing business, roofing contractors like you need the right tools for the job, and software is no exception. Service Titan is on a mission to be the most powerful software platform for the trades, with purpose-built technology proven to maximize revenue, streamline operations, and deliver 5-star customer experiences. We are taking roofing companies like yours to the next level and beyond. Service Titan. We are built for this. See what we can do for roofers at servicetitan.com.
Hey, it's Desmond Howard. You want to win the weekend? It all starts with the tailgate. And for me, that means Kingsford Charcoal.
They've been bringing the flavor, the smoke, and the heat since 1920. No wonder they're still the gold standard of grilling. So fire it up, feed your crew, and let the smoke do the talking. Kingsford, the king of the tailgate. Get it today at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Common Man here. Our friends at Care Heating and Cooling in Lenox are feeling the love. They're doing something extraordinary for Central Ohio families. The Lenox Feel the Love program provides deserving families and individuals with indoor heating and cooling equipment as well as installation at no cost. You can nominate someone who you think is deserving at feelthelove.com. Nominations be accepted through August 31st. Let's give back to our hometown heroes. Selfless neighbor, maybe who always puts everybody first. Community leaders like teachers, firefighters, and volunteers years, or just families facing hard times. Whoever you think is worthy, send a nomination. As of 2024, the Field of Love program has completed more than 350 installations with help of dealers like Care Heating and Cooling. Our friends at Lennox donate all the equipment, and Care donates the labor and materials, and the installs are done at no cost. Remember, the deadline is August 31st. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING or book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com when you need a company you can trust.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, here's what's up on a Tuesday edition of the program. Ryan Day's weekly Game Week press conference. We will carry it for you live around noon. Last night, he was on Roundtable. It is a week one unlike anything anyone around here has ever seen before. Here is Ryan Day on the week that is.
Well, I think once you get to this point of preseason, I mean, you're excited to see what kind of team you have. You know, you've seen, the different, parts of the season. You've seen guys grow, starts in the winter, goes through spring ball, and now we're into preseason. And I think that's probably the most exciting thing is to get started and, figure out what this journey looks like. And, when you start an opening game like this, I mean, it's really exciting because you have everybody's attention, starting in July. I think the biggest challenge is just the fact that, you have unknowns when you're going into the first game. And so that's like that every year. You got to start. And, it's kind of like, buying your first house or, having your first child. Maybe you never feel like you're ready, but you got to go. And so here we are. We're a week out and time to go play a game.
My hunch is if you asked Ryan and you asked Sark, they would both say this came very quickly. That we got here really quick. Like, we're breaking in a lot of new guys. They're talented guys. These two programs are mirrors of each other. And my hunch is that if you talk to both coaches, they would say this got here very quickly. Now, the good news is because the way college football is in 2025, neither one of these teams is going anywhere. So I do think that both of them can coach much more freely than they would have in a bygone era. Certainly 20 years ago when these two teams met, the approach was much different. The idea was you lose that game, you're done. You're out of the national championship picture. And that's not the case anymore. Both these teams are going to be just fine no matter what the result is on Saturday. So I think what you're going to get is a very fun game where two coaches coach pretty fearlessly. That doesn't mean that it's going to be aesthetically pleasing. It might not be. It might be a little clunky. That's fine. But I think you're going to get coaches who let it all hang out in what should be an incredible Saturday at the Shoe. The opponent in this one, I've gone back and forth with folks about game planning for Texas, and obviously you're doing all of those things. But because there is no game film on this Ohio State team or this Texas team, there's more on Texas because you've seen Arch start 3 games. That matters. People trying to act like, oh, what did he start 3 games? No, he started 3 games. Okay, he's in his 3rd year in Austin. He and Julian are not the same. They are not the same in terms of their experience and what they have under their belt. Not close. So the idea that, oh, we got a new starting quarterback, so do they. No. We have a new starting quarterback who's in his 2nd year on campus. They have a starting quarterback who's 3 years in and started 3 games last year. That's very different. That aside, I do think that this is as much about each other and their teams. And here is Ryan Day echoing that.
Yeah, I mean, we watch everything. And, there's times where, you feel like, okay, we have to predict what they're going to do. And then maybe sometimes you can almost, over-evaluate it. But then the biggest thing is, what can we do well? And, what can we execute in all 3 phases? And to me, that's very important, especially in this first game playing clean. We also have our new faces. And these guys, we got to give them a good, clean plan. That's the coach's job. So they go out there and play fast, take care of the football, and like I said, play clean. But, we look at everything. And we also look to see, again, like what fits our guys. Because what fit last year's team may not necessarily be the same thing that fits our guys. So it's a little bit of both. You really look at what they're going to do, but you got to make sure you're doing what you think gives your guys the best chance to be successful.
It's funny. Sometimes cliches are cliches for a reason. And anytime you breaking down games, the first thing you say is what? Got to win the turnover battle. How many times did Ryan Day say clean in that 49-second bite? 4?
At least.
Right? Sometimes it's that simple. right? These two teams, the talent's going to equate. The plans are going to be brilliant. They're two of the best offensive minds in the sport with Sark and Ryan. They're two of the best quarterback evaluators, two of the best recruiters. Defensively, the talent is dripping for both teams. There's NFL guys everywhere. And really, what it's going to come down to is just who's clean. Whoever wins the turnover battle, you can take it to the bank. That's your winner. Like, sometimes cliches are cliches for a reason because they matter, and this is one. Go ahead, Vic.
It's so funny that you talk about this and Ryan said that, because for some reason last night I was just thinking about planning out the week in the show and what some of the things we were going to do. And I was thinking about Friday, and I was thinking about 3 keys to a Buckeye victory. Mm-hmm. And the first thing that popped in my head was, you cannot turn the ball over.
Yeah.
You cannot turn the ball over in this game. First thing I thought of, and I was just thinking about it last night.
You know what's the damnedest thing? You can't turn the ball over, but you can't fear turning the ball over. That's the needle you're threading. Don't turn it over, but don't fear it. That's the job for Ryan Day. That's the job for Sark.
And that's got to be
Saturday.
so tough for Julian Sayin in this game. His first real college action. That's got to be such a tough line for him. Like, it may not be come November, but this game, his first one, that's got to be so difficult for him.
I do think it'll be difficult for him the entire season. But I think it's one of those things where he looks forward to it, or at least you would hope the guy that wins the quarterback battle would be somebody that in those situations wants to take those shots, isn't afraid about turning the ball over. And I think there's so many different things that we've talked about winning the quarterback job at Ohio State. And I think that fearlessness, I think, adds to it. And it was one of many intangibles, I think, that pushed Julian over Lincoln in that final decision. I mean, you saw it in the spring game, and I think they saw it at that final scrimmage at Ohio Stadium. In those situations, in those environments, like, this is where the kid thrives. And I think the same could be said for Arch Manning as well. You know, what you have 2 heavyweights in this, and everything you've ever wanted, right, as a player, everything you've ever wanted as a fan, everything you've ever wanted as a coach is something you're going to get Saturday at high noon. And I think that for these teams going into it, like, you almost also have to not be afraid to throw that, to Ryan's point, not throw the game plan out the window. If it just coming out in the second half, well, that didn't work.
Yeah.
And feeling good about doing that because it's so early in the season where you're going to be a completely different team at the end of the month. What you see from Ohio State, I think, is going to be different between Texas and even Washington.
Oh, my God. Yes. And look, one thing that's been talked about probably too much in the lead up to this is Arch. I understand it. I get it. He's a really famous dude who's from probably the most famous football family in this country.
Yes.
I think. I feel like he was the number 1 player in the country, and his last name is that. So I get it. One thing that I think maybe hasn't been talked about enough is he is a whole year further along than Julian, and he started 3 games. I think sometimes that's minimized. Like, I'll hear people say, well, Arch hasn't started any games really. No, he has. He started 3 games. He got thrust into action in the second quarter of the Georgia game in Austin last year because they were looking for a spark. No, it didn't go swimmingly, and they went back to Quinn, but they put him in the game. He's played in those spots. We haven't seen Julian play in any of those things. That's a massive difference.
I do think for both quarterbacks, the idea that, with Arch and the games last season, I think it's more important that the development under Sarkisian in that Texas program, and you have those, going into year 3. I think for Julian, this is his second year, in development with a brand new coordinator. I also think, you had Chip Kelly last season, and now you have Brian Hartline. I think it's the Ryan Day offense, but there'll be differences. And I think figuring things out on the fly is going to be a big part for both of these teams on Saturday, and who does it best. Like, it was back to my point yesterday about coaching in the NFL. Like, you're going to get chaos. How'd you handle it?
Yeah. There will come games this season where you win because of him. This Saturday, their job is to find a way that they can win where they can do so despite him at times. Because you cannot expect him, I don't expect him to play flawlessly. I don't know how you could. I just don't know how you could. You guys saw that record of guys against the number one team in the first start. It's like 0-18 in the last 25 years. But he's special. But how do you manage it? What's in his head? How do you get him? This is going to be the key to him. This will be the key to Saturday for Ryan. This week, how do you get Julian to let all of the hype and the bigness of all of it wash right off of him and just get back to playing football? The sooner they can do that, the more successful this team will be on Saturday. Obviously, much more on this one as we go along. Coming up next, the Bengals pushed all of the chips to the middle of the table. It's a damn good job out of them. We'll get to it coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're known for three things: games, conversation, and Common Man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Right now, our full line of fresh Tyson chicken is on sale. Select varieties are buy one, get one free with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Jeremy Foltz, CEO and co-founder of 3C Technology Solutions, speaks about working with First Bank of Central Ohio.
I think FBCO had a really nice personal touch. Transition was really easy and much cleaner than I thought it would be. Some very specific things that made me very excited to work with them are availability and creativity.
Experience what it's like to be first at First Bank of Central Ohio. Visit fbcentralohio.com for more details. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day. The kitchen drain has had enough. The toilet's called it quits. Drains are clogged throughout the house. I'm gonna throw a fit.
Clogged drain, no problem. It's 93 or free. I'll clear any drain or you don't pay with a 1-year guarantee.
It's 93 or free. Guaranteed.
Call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
Stories like this are really who we are. Hi, it's Steve Lindsay with Lindsay Honda. One of my son's coaches was having an issue with his transmission in his Honda. He had gotten quoted almost $9,000. He's like, can you help me out on the price on getting one through your Honda dealership? And I said, yeah. I said, but let's bring the vehicle in and let's make sure you, in fact, do need a transmission. We did a complete flush on his transmission and a software update on it, and that fixed his problem. And this guy has an extra $8,500 in his pocket because he reached out and I was able to connect him with my staff. We're going to take a step back and to make sure we're actually treating the core issue, not just the symptom.
This month at Lindsay Honda, our famous Cash for Clunkers continues during our Honda Summer event. Get up to $3,500 minimum for your trade and use it for a down payment, negative equity, or keep the cash. Only at Lindsay Honda, the big Honda store.
You hear that? That's the sound of Pepsi Zero Sugar, the better tasting, more refreshing Zero Sugar Cola. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Let your taste decide.
The Columbus Zoo invites you to follow the footsteps and the tales of animals from around the world. Explore our newest region, North America Trek. So what are you waiting for? Get your tail to our trails only at your Columbus Zoo.
Morning Juice, Wheel Football Talk. Just two guys who aren't afraid to say what needs to be said. And that's how she wrote.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Now streaming mornings on YouTube and 10 TV Plus. Attack and dominate.
GNC knows that you're not always feeling it at the gym, but don't get down, get lit, and get more out of every workout. Beyond Raw Lit is a clinically dosed pre-workout that flips the switch and gives you more energy, focus, intensity, and pumps. The perfect combo for a killer workout. Plus, it's got incredible flavors and thousands of 5-star reviews, so you know it's good. Pick it up at GNC stores or go to gnc.com.
Tim collects bobbleheads. A lot of bobbleheads.
baseball bobbleheads, race car bobbleheads, little chihuahua bobbleheads. He's got an entire room strictly for bobbleheads. Does he need them? No. Is his wife mad about it? A little. But Tim works with Empower, and he got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Ooh, horse bobblehead. Classy, Tim. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Find us on YouTube. Search WBNS Radio and you can see what Bo looks like. But only if you subscribe. This is Bishop and Friends.
Hey there, friends. It's your Uncle Bo here. Proud to tell you about my friends at Diamond Seller who know that forever starts with the perfect diamond. For 78 years, their family has helped generations of couples celebrate with love, brilliance, quality, unbeatable prices. The Diamond Seller bigger diamonds or better prices are their promise to you. So whether you're popping the question or upgrading your sparkle, trust the experts at Diamond Seller because diamonds are their forte. Visit Diamond Seller today at Sawmill Road or Easton Town Center. Learn more at diamondseller.com. They're my guys. My guy Daniel out at Easton, absolutely crushing it. All right. I had my only fantasy football draft last night. And I picked 9 out of 10. So I think it's the worst place you can pick. Basically, you're not getting any of the blue chip guys in the first round. And then if you're picking 10, you get 10, 11, and you can kind of strategize around the back-to-back picks. I'm not kidding you. My first 3 picks that I had in my head that I wanted to make were all taken by the person drafting immediately before me. I hate my team. I cannot hate it anymore. I've been in this league for 25 years, same guys for 25 years. I could not hate this team anymore. Absolutely loathe what I've done. I did not have backup plans. I was ill-prepared, and now I'm stuck with this roster of suck.
Who's your quarterback?
The whole season. Good Lord. Jalen. So my plan.
Well, that's pretty good.
Well,
who was the first pick?
The first pick was actually Bijan. Bijan was the first pick.
Isn't it Bijan?
Bijan.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, Bo. What the
this
heck?
Far in, I'm sorry. Like, he was a 5-star recruit. He was a 5-star recruit out of Texas. At any point, he could have said, hey, it's not Bijan, it's Bijan. You could have stopped that at any point.
Why
he played at a little
that?
school called Texas. Like, at any point, they could have stopped it. I think once you get into your mid-20s, it is what it is.
My name is Terod Taylor now.
Real quick about Texas. When you were doing that radio hit in Austin, the entire time, did you have horns down? Like, they probably couldn't see you, but you were just flashing it just in case.
So it's funny, the two guys who were hosting, Aaron Hogan, it was his show, and the two guys he's from Akron, and then the co-host on the show, I think, was from Detroit. So it was interesting, like 2 guys from up here doing down there.
The North invaded the South.
They did, yeah, a little bit. All right, this is all chips in as much as you can get, and that is the Cincinnati Bengals. They've done it. They did all of it. They kept them all. This is the most all-in the Cincinnati Bengals have been in their history, financially. The Bengals and Trey Hendrickson reached an agreement on a $14 million raise for this year, boosting his 2025 salary to $30 million. He is scheduled to become an unrestricted free agent after this season. This will be the only season Trey Hendrickson has left in Cincinnati. Clearly. This is it. It seems like they kind of won because one of the things that they were kind of going back and forth over was the guaranteed money and the terms of that. Hendrickson wanted 3. The Bengals wanted 1. The Bengals got 1. Now, they give him the big bonus, but it's a 1-year thing. They need Shamar Stewart to be a dude going forward. But to me, the Cincinnati Bengals are looking at this season and saying, this is our shot. We're all in. Let's see what can happen. If you're a Bengals fan, I don't know how you're not thrilled by this. And honestly, I wouldn't even worry about next year. I would worry about right now and tracking down that Super Bowl. And now they have a top 5 defensive line player in the entire league locked in to give it their best shot at just that. As much as we tease, we had a little bit of fun at their expense with the Boomer Esiason stuff last week, and we talk about the Browns and the pieces of pie and all of that stuff. They did it. And I wouldn't have had that they could do it. They did it. They kept them all.
Yeah, they served up Trey a nice big slice of pie. I think that benefits everybody. It almost felt like during the stalemate that became a hold-in that Trey didn't just want anything to do with the Bengals organization other than the fact that he was still contractually obligated to play for the Bengals organization. I think them telling him that they were going to do a deal, he thought that meant, all right, we're having good faith discussions. And then Katie Blackburn coming out and saying, we'll just be thrilled with what we offer you, meant there was no more good faith. And I do think for this team, people go, well, their defense was awful last year. It was, but imagine how much worse it would have been without Trey. And I think you've seen some flashes of it in the preseason. Without Trey Hendrickson, this defense is so much worse. And you think, well, they can't get much worse. Oh, they can. Yeah. This prevents them from that because at least in situations where you know you need to outscore teams like the Ravens and the Steelers and the Bills, you can do that if you can get them off the field on third down with a sack from Trey Hendrickson.
I'm shocked that the Bengals got everyone signed for this year, and they're there. I would not have had that back in the beginning of the summer. I do feel like this is a little bit of a loss, though, for the Bengals moving forward. It's obviously a win for them this year. And look, that defense is bad, but you're seeing some signs from Shamar Stewart, at least. Mm-hmm. You have him opposite Trey Hendrickson. That could only help. Demetrius Knight looks like probably a hit there in the linebacker room, too. So there are some positive signs there. The whole Trey Hendrickson thing has baffled me all along because everybody acts like Trey Hendrickson's old. He's the same age as Myles Garrett and T.J. Watt, and nobody ever brings up their age. I think that's 31? Funny. No, he's still 30. They're all 30 right now. All 30. They all came into the league the same year. So I think it's funny, the narrative that Trey Hendrickson is old when he's the exact same age as those two. It's kind of weird. I also heard that the Bengals offered a 3-year, $95 million deal, but they didn't want to guarantee anything past this year, and Trey Hendrickson obviously wanted no part of that. I said all along, though, don't tell me you want to be there, but you're not there. Trey proved he wants to be there now because he got this done. He got his money for this year, and then he'll probably be waving bye-bye with 2 fingers in the air to the Bengals when he leaves after this year.
That's fine if they make a playoff run.
Yeah, and honestly, what I think from a NFL fan perspective, it's almost like, I know that you want to look at it as like this big window of hey, let's go win Super Bowls. Man, just win one. Try to just win one. And every year it's almost a reset. I think the thing that is really crazy to me in retrospect, when you look back to their summer, I saw this morning upwards of 75% of their cap is on 4 guys. That's a crazy number. It's on the internet, so it's 28% true that it's true. But it's a ton of money on 4 guys. But they'll deal with next year's problems next year. The one that is probably, I don't know, like if Jermaine Burton would have hit, I don't know that they would have done the Higgins deal. That's the one that kind of led to the imbalance. You were always going to do Burrow and Chase. Burrow wanted Higgins. So they did it, and they got that deal done. And so now I tell you, you said this yesterday, Bacon. I think it's a great point. This should be everybody's second favorite team to watch. Their games are going to be circuses. And now with Hendrickson in the fold, and we knew all along that he would be. I would have been shocked if he was not going to play this year in Cincinnati. What you have now with Hendrickson is, in Al Golden's defense, give me 3 or 4 game-changing plays over the course of a game. Couple of stops, 1 field goal 1 touchdown transition into a field goal in the red zone, 1 sack, strip fumble, those type of things. Their chances of doing that is enhanced by Hendrickson being in the fold. So it's a good job out of them. They deserve full marks for the offseason that they had. Second hour up next, we kick it off with The Real Truth. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Common man, a radio veteran, has a large hemorrhoid. Timmy Hall, a good, clean boy, moonlights as man's hemorrhoid. Common Man and Timmy.
Weekdays at 3.
The Fan.
Men, the summer is here. Longer days, warmer nights, and romance in the air. Intimate dinners, walks on the beach, dancing in the moonlight. But if you have erectile dysfunction, you know it can ruin romance, both for you and the one you love. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you have ED, don't let another summer go by without getting treated, because intimacy is one of the greatest things in life, and fear of not being able to perform should not be something you have to deal with. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've successfully treated tens of thousands of men. Our protocols work when others don't, and we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. You could even last up to an hour or more and perform like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
1-877-CARS for kids. KARS Cars for kids. 1-877-CARS for kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS for kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now.
1-877-CARS for kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 3 trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. My good friends over at Sleep Better Columbus want you to know that if you're 65 or older, enjoying those golden years, but maybe you're dealing with restless nights, you need to listen up. Are you tossing and turning, struggling with sleep apnea, and that leaves you wiped out during the day? Well, it's time to reclaim your rest with Dr. Mark Levy at Sleep Better Columbus. As a leading provider in non-surgical sleep apnea treatments, Dr. Levy helps you breathe easier and sleep deeper with custom oral appliances, a comfortable alternative to CPAP. The best part is that Sleep Better Columbus is in network with most medical insurance plans and is a proud Medicare provider, so your coverage can work seamlessly with Sleep Better Columbus. And as we head toward the end of the year, don't let those benefits go unused. You don't want to wait to use your deductible. Act now to make the most of it with Sleep Better Columbus. Call Sleep Better Columbus today at 800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com. Once again, that number, 800-MORE-SLEEP or sleepbettercolumbus.com for your consultation. Sleep better, live better, you've earned it.
Discover uncompromising quality at a reliable price with Giant Eagle in Market District. Look for signs throughout the store highlighting lower prices. Surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle. Experience value like never before. Visit Giant Eagle today to see how easy it is to save.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter, and Columbus football is back. And what better way to kick off the season than driving home in a tough, reliable 2024 Toyota Tacoma from Germain Toyota of Columbus. Right now, get 0% APR for up to 72 months with 20% down, or lease it for $239 a month for 36 months for 10,000 miles per year with $29.99 due at signing. Head to Germain Toyota of Columbus today on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road. Your home for great deals all season long.
Dormar, you're kind of hero.
Your fantasy draft is here. The Smack Talk is starting, and this season, ESPN Bet is giving you more ways to ride with your squad. Introducing ESPN Bet Fan Center, where you can instantly link and bet on your fantasy teams right in the ESPN Bet app. An enhanced sports betting experience only from ESPN Bet, the sports book for sports fans. Download the app today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
My name is Georgios Tsetis. I'm the co-founder of Nutrafol. My hair started thinning in my early 20s. I tried everything and nothing was really working. So we created Nutrafol. Our hair growth supplements undergo clinical trials and have helped millions of men and women get visibly thicker and stronger hair in just 3 to 6 months.
Get growing at Nutrafol.com. That's Nutrafol.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reese. 4 days out from Ohio State and Texas, meeting high noon Saturday at Ohio Stadium. Buckeyes are a 1.5 favorite in this Week 1 rematch of last year's Cotton Bowl semifinal. Buckeyes head coach Ryan Day will meet with the media at noon today. We'll carry those comments live on the Fan when he hits the podium. The Ryan Day radio show will debut Thursday at noon. In the NFL, all 32 teams must trim their rosters to 53 by 4 p.m. today. The Browns will have 3 quarterbacks on the roster after trading Kenny Pickett to Las Vegas on Monday, in exchange for a 5th-round pick. The Bengals are keeping Trey Hendrickson after agreeing to a $14 million raise for the NFL's leading sack getter. Cincinnati can tag him after 2025, but it would cost them about $36 million. This update is sponsored by Roosters. Roosters is giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences, tickets, sideline passes, trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Register today at roosterswings.com.
The best hair on the air. You are listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, second hour on a Tuesday. Let's kick it off with the real truth.
Bishop and Friends present The Real Truth.
Sponsored by Diamond Cellar. Over 76 years of experience and guaranteed lowest prices on Sawmill Road or diamondcellar.com.
Ohio State can't win Saturday if Julian Sain doesn't outplay Arch Manning. Is that the real truth?
This one's going to live in the shades of gray, isn't it, fellas? Because I think the outplay is the tricky one. I don't think that Ohio State can win if Julian is widely outplayed by Arch. I think Ohio State can win if it's a push. I think Ohio State can win if Arch has a slight advantage in individual play. But I do think there are other ways for Ohio State to win this game without Sain being what he's going to be by the time we get to November. You just never know how the ball's going to bounce. While Arch is a much more known quantity, and I have a little bit better idea what I think they're going to be offensively than how Ohio State is going to attack this thing on Saturday, there are ways for Ohio State to win without Sain being better than Arch. There are, in my estimation, no ways for Texas to win without Arch being better than Julian.
Yeah, I don't think this is the real truth. It's close to the real truth, but it's not. Ohio State, there are ways for them to win this game because they're so talented without Julian Sain playing better than Arch Manning. Like, Arch Manning could have a great game, and when the field shrinks, Ohio State's defense just be so good where they hold them to field goals, and maybe they get a return, a fumble return for a touchdown or something like that. So maybe James Peoples and C.J. Donaldson have huge games. Like, I don't think that's going to be the focus of the Ohio State's offense. I think they are going to air it out and throw the ball quite a bit. But they can win this game without Julian being the best quarterback on the field on Saturday. Yeah. So, while I think it's pretty close, I don't think it's the actual real truth.
Yeah, this is not the real truth. I think Ohio State's one of their strengths they have over the Longhorns is their offensive line play. You have Texas that, while still has Colin Simmons, you got a Buckeye offensive unit that was battle-tested through the playoffs last year. And you've got Texas replacing a lot of guys from an offensive line unit that did pretty well in their playoff push. But I do think for the quarterbacks, Julian Sain can play well, not play better than Arch Manning, but I think Ohio State can still make some hay up front and get Sonic and Knuckles in situations where, yeah, you can kick field goals and win this thing. Like, who's to say on Friday it doesn't come down to me picking Ohio State beating Texas by a point?
Oh, yeah. Hey, guys, you brought up CJ and James. When is the last time that we've been this in the dark on what the running back room is going to bring at Ohio State? It almost seems like every other year when you bring in a big-time freshman, there are veterans above them that you know of. Now, certainly some of them, like, Travion splashed as big as can flash, JK too. Like, there's been some of those. Zeke had to wait a year behind Carlos. But, like, this is a largely unknown room.
Yeah, I can't remember a time.
I mean, we haven't seen James Peoples do much. He's pretty good on the video game. CJ's pretty good on the video game. But Yeah, I don't know what to expect out of that room.
Yeah, what was it? Maybe Mike Weber after Zeke? Was it Mike Weber and who was he? Was it Weber and JK or can't remember?
Yeah, but Mike was already here. I mean, I guess that's probably it. Is probably that one. Is that 16?
Yeah.
Yeah, 16 maybe, where you were kind of unknown. Yeah.
Trey Hendrickson will be on the Bengals roster next season.
No, that's easy. Not the real truth. No chance. One and done.
Yeah, as was said in the update, if the Bengals wanted to tag him, because what he was given a raise yesterday, and in that deal, the reworked 1-year contract, there is no tag clause. So they can tag him. It'll cost him $36 million.
Yeah, no chance.
I can't believe, if the Bengals were to tag Trey Hendrickson, I feel like Hendrickson's head would explode. I feel like he wants to play this year, and he did this just to get on the field, and I feel like somewhere in there he probably told them, look, this is it for me. I do not want to play here any longer unless you guarantee me a lot of money.
Of the 3 Browns quarterbacks Cleveland will have on their final 53, none of them will be on their roster this time next year. Is that the real truth?
No. Dylan will be there for sure. I think Shadour's got a chance to be there. I don't think Joe will be there. Just at some point, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So I don't think that's the case. But I think that they believe that Dylan Gabriel can be kind of in the Kirk Cousins mold, that he could be that type of player for them. So I could see a situation where Dylan starts next year, or that Dylan and Shadour duke it out. I think what's going to be very interesting is how they handle next year at the draft, because really that's what they have to get locked in is, do we need to draft a quarterback in the first round? And do we like these quarterbacks that are available enough that we're going to pick one of them? That's really the focus.
Yeah, I don't believe that's the real truth. I kind of think that the Browns are expecting to have Dylan Gabriel on their roster for the next 10 years. I feel like at his floor, I feel like they feel he's a Mason Rudolph, right? Some guy that can just be your backup forever. Now they're hoping he's going to be their starter for the next 10 years, but I think they plan on having Dylan Gabriel around for a long time.
I think it's a pretty astute read out of you, Bake, because when you think about roster construction and you think you got at least one more year of paying Deshaun Watson, you really can't have expensive backups in that room. So they have to pay Watson this year. They pay him next year. And in that regard, you need to have a room that is made up of guys who are relatively cheap, and a third-round pick is relatively cheap. So I think worst-case scenario, Bake just nailed it. Worst-case scenario, Dylan Gabriel is, I like the Mason Rudolph one. I think if you think about Case Keenum, you think about other guys like that who have, been backups in places for a while. Worst case scenario, I think they know that Dylan can be that. Best case scenario, maybe they think he can be a Cousins and he can be a facilitator of their offense for the next 4 or 5 years. I don't think it would preclude them, for example, if they had the number 1 pick in the draft and Arch Manning was in it, I think they would sprint to the podium to do that. But I also think that it gives them a little bit of options, and I think that they feel pretty good about what he can be running their offense, and we'll get to more on this in a second with the Pickett trade from yesterday.
Speaking of the Browns, Quinshon Judkins will be on their roster at 4:01 this afternoon. Is that the real truth?
No, not the real truth. I think there is a disagreement on the guaranteed money. Remember, this all changed. There was a player for Houston who they gave a guaranteed contract to, and so all the second-round picks wanted guaranteed money. And so I think that's been the sticking point on this thing, and I think Quinshon and his agent, or especially his agent, are really still pushing for that guarantees. And I think the Browns are saying, look, this is a little different now because of what you've been accused of. So I think they're still a little bit apart on that. I do think eventually they'll get it sorted out, and Quinshon will be with the Cleveland Browns. I don't know if it'll be in time for the opener or if he'll have an impact on the opener, but I think eventually they'll get there, and eventually they'll get sorted out. But I don't think it'll be in the next 6 hours.
Yeah, I don't think that he will be on the roster either come 4:01 today. And you know what, Bo? I'm usually not the guy that's all in the players' camp, but if I'm Quinshon and his agent in this, you just gave a dude that was undrafted a guaranteed contract. You picked me in the second round, and I understand his stuff came out before, and that's why he didn't go, or that's why he went undrafted. The fact of the matter is he was still undrafted, and you gave him a guaranteed contract. You better give me one, too.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how I'm sure those are the conversations that are happening, are those type of conversations. But it's a long season. I think he'll still have a major impact on what they are offensively. I don't know if it's going to get sorted out in the next 5 hours and 50 minutes as it stands. Speaking of the Browns, some news yesterday with the trade of Kenny Pickett. What is the quarterback plan for this year? What is the quarterback plan going forward, among other things where the Browns are concerned? We'll get to all of that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
In Columbus, how you roll up on game day matters. And with Polestar are redefining the driving experience. The Polestar 3 isn't just an electric SUV. It's an SUV that drives like a sports car. Precise, powerful, silent enough to hear the crowd before you see the stadium. Drive it today at Polestar Columbus or visit polestarcolumbus.com for a test drive and to learn about our competitive lease offers.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
You can save big on 12 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Select varieties or buy 2, get 2 free with your card. Limit 8. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
It's Wilson from That Other Window Place, and this is the Secrets of Pella podcast. Secrets of Pella. Where we try to expose Pella Windows secrets. Okay, Leslie from Pella, these magical disappearing screens you speak of, what exactly is Pella hiding?
Well, hiding the screens is the whole point.
All right, cut. The screen just disappears? There's no magic involved? Okay.
Get the windows that Columbus homeowners rated the leading window brand at PellaColumbus.com.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to My Computer Career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
If only there was a radio show that constantly talked about Ohio State athletics. Well, good news. It's real, baby. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
Proud to be your flagship home of the Buckeyes. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
At the Ohio
Ohio Lottery, we make Keno fun, your way. That means every few minutes across Ohio, 20 out of 80 possible numbers are randomly picked. And if some of the numbers you picked match, voila, you're a winner. Keno doesn't require you to know a single thing about sports ball or overs, unders, pluses, minuses, or lines, or whatever else. Keno is as simple as, did some of my numbers match? They did? Great. You just raked in some dough. There are more than 20 hours of Keno draws every day and thousands of places to play statewide. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
The crisp feeling of fall is in the air, so you might need a light jacket today as daytime highs only get into the low 70s. We'll see clouds increase throughout the day, although there will be some sunshine mixed in. And we could see a stray shower or two, otherwise mainly dry. Decreasing clouds tonight with lows in the 40s to low 50s again. And then for Wednesday, a tad bit warmer with more sunshine and highs in the mid 70s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
If you haven't thought about Buckeye football today, I'm sorry to tell you that you're dead. Our condolences. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan. Bo knows many people. He talks to the interesting ones on this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
Indeed it is. It's sponsored by our friends at Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for over 78 years. How great is this weather? I mean, are you kidding me?
This is what I dream of.
It's football.
We all do. I took Buddy Garrity out last night to go do his final business of the night. And as I took him out, like it was probably in the low 60s, high 50s, something like that. Is what it kind of felt like to me. I didn't look, but that's what it felt like. Like crisp. The air was clear. The sky was clear. You get a little bit of chill. He was bouncing around. He was excited about it. He's got 17 coats of fur. He's done with summer rather. But I would be remiss if I did not say that I am a little concerned that it's this nice right now. Like, I'm happy for the Texas. I haven't even looked. What do we got Saturday?
Upper 70s for the high.
Wow.
So the first
little cloud coverage.
The first forecast I looked at was sunny and 74. Then I saw sunny and 79. Regardless, not bad.
That's so lucky, man. That's so lucky, fellas. In the back of my head, because I'm always so negative about the weather. I know that's breaking news.
Not you.
Not me. I'm always nervous because this feels like what September feels like. And I think September in Ohio is the best any month in any state in the union. I think it's apex. First couple of weeks of October, too. And I'm worried. I don't want us to all of a sudden be 58 and rainy in September. That I can't have. So just as long as this stays, and this is basically San Diego, Santa Barbara weather, just stay here for the next 8 weeks, and I'm good. I'm good with you, Mother Nature.
Our friends over at 10 TV say high of 75, 0% chance of precipitation.
God, that's perfect.
Bo, and I wouldn't worry about October if I were you. Now, okay. I know that every year is different, but the past couple of years, we've been pretty good. Winter really hasn't started until we've had a few weeks here and there, but winter really hasn't started till we got into January. So
that's a good point.
I would think we're getting another 90s swing here sometime soon.
Would feel like it. Yeah, we've had very moderate winters really the last several years. I mean, it's been very moderate. It's not usually January, February gets bad, and then you get all the rain that comes in the spring. But this is setting up to be absolutely perfection on Saturday, and it's just lovely right now. There's nothing I like more than just opening the windows and letting the air blow in, and to be able to do it is awesome. I even freeze the kids out.
Yep.
Oh, it's so cold, Dad. It's like, you're fine. Put on another blanket.
I had to get up and turn my fan off in the middle of the night last night.
Too cold?
Didn't one of them have the AC set to 63 last week?
That idiot NBC last week.
Yeah.
He was hot.
What's he worried about? Okay.
That idiot NBC.
Bozo. My electric bill was $900. So I said, well, I have you to thank for this. So thank you for that. Really appreciate that. It was a nice little thing in the mail when I saw that. Nearly $1,000 electric bill. That was fun. Okay, let's just do real truth on this. The Browns traded Kenny Pickett yesterday to the Las Vegas Raiders for a 5th-round pick, which is what they traded to Philly, along with DTR, to acquire him. Because of the situation with Deshaun Watson, the Browns could not be as aggressive as I think anybody would want to be in replacing their quarterback situation for this year because of the Watson contract. So they had to find a way to piecemeal it together. They viewed Kenny Pickett as a former first-round pick who had 25 NFL starts, who during his time in Pittsburgh maybe didn't play in an offense that fit his skill set. And I know that that's met with skepticism. I get it. You too skeptical. I get it. I'm just telling you their view of Pickett. Their hope this year was that Pickett would start, that he would be their quarterback of record, and that from there they would deal with whatever came of it. So if he did Darnold, then they probably wouldn't be able to re-sign him anyway because they don't have the cap space for a 3-year, $100 million deal. But if somebody else signed him, they would get a third-round pick compensatory on the way back. So that was probably the best-case plan for this. Kenny Pickett behaved, and they behaved towards him as if he was a starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns until he got hurt in the 4th practice of training camp. Up until that point, that's how he was viewed. Once that happened, the break glass in case of emergency option became breaking glass. So that's Joe Flacco. So then Joe Flacco became the quarterback. And if you were to go back on everything that they've done over the last 6-8 weeks there, probably the one thing you'd like to have back is, let's not say it's a 4-person quarterback competition. Let's say it's a 2-person, and we view Kenny as this. That would have probably solved a lot of this because the 2 rookies were never in the competition. What the last month did, from their vantage point, and this is the clearest way that I can read this, is it proved that Dylan Gabriel can back up Joe Flacco. That's what it proved. And it proved that if there is an injury to Flacco, or when it comes time to play the young guys, and ownership has said that they want to see both the young guys play, when it comes time to do that, play one of the 2 guys who actually can be on your roster for the next 3 to 5 years, as opposed to someone who it's almost impossible for them to be on your roster the next 3 to 5 years. So that's how that pivot happened. Pickett's injury was much more severe than anybody realized. Anybody. And it really wasn't until Joe Thomas on the preseason, the first preseason game against Carolina, mentioned that it's a pretty severe hamstring injury. That was the first time that we were like, oh, he's not just out a couple of practices. He's going to be out a while. And they kept calling him day to day. They never called him week to week, something they'll manage. Well, he hadn't done stuff in team in 4.5 weeks, 5 weeks. I mean, it's been since the 4th practice. So once that happened, once Gabriel assured them with his play that he could back up Flacco, and if they had to play Gabriel, they'd be very confident that he could run the full complement of the offense, then Pickett becomes expendable. Vegas gets the injury to Aiden O'Connell over the weekend. That allows for this to happen. It ends up being a wash. Instead of a 3rd for Pickett, had he had a good year, you end up getting your 5th right back, and that's how all of it happened. That's the way that this thing happened. That's the truth of it. There'd be a million different stories that are spun one way or another, but that's the way that this went down. And to me, what this allows for is for you to see those 2 young guys at some point this year. That's what this allows for. And I know one of the things you guys were frustrated about was, I don't need to see Kenny Pickett do anything. Well, now you're not going to have to. So it ends up being a wash. You end up with the 5th right back.
Yeah, I think the plan, pretty simply put, for me as a Browns fan, is Joe Flacco until London. And then if after that game against the Vikings, if you're 3-2 or better, then you can roll with Flacco. I do think that there is something to be said about giving the older guys on the roster one more shot at this thing. Right? If you can go into week 5, week 6, and you're still floating above 500, okay, you can talk me into making this a game. But if you have that bye week post-London and you're floating under 500, then I think it would be time for either Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders to get the full complement of a Cleveland offense with the complement of what Cleveland's got defensively at the time, and figuring out if at the end of the season are you looking into the quarterbacks for one of your 2 first-round picks.
If you would have told me that the Cleveland Browns were going to turn Kenny Pickett into getting their 5th-round pick back, especially without him playing a game, I would have told you were crazy.
That's great.
But this is kind of what we hoped all along with whatever happened in this quarterback situation is there would be injuries, somebody would need a quarterback, they would get desperate, and you would get something. And, hey, the Browns, they made the trade. They got rid of DTR, and he's not on a roster. The Eagles cut him. You get to keep your 5th-round pick. It's almost like I want my picks back. And they got it here for Kenny Pickett. Dylan Gabriel looked good in his limited time. Like, he's a guy that is not going to hurt you that much in a game. He can run the offense. There's issues with his height, obviously. He's been dealing with that his whole life. And like I said, he kind of looks like a Tua out there. I don't know if he's as good as Tua, but I don't see any reason why he can't be that for the Browns. It seemed to work out for him this time, and I feel like sometimes it doesn't always work out for the Browns.
I did see something earlier about maybe bringing Tyler Huntley back as QB3 on the roster, and I've never wanted to say no to something so quick for what the Browns have done.
Me speaking, I don't know why you would do that.
Makes no sense.
The only way you would do that is if there was an injury to Flacco. And then you'd start Gabriel and Huntley would back up Gabriel. I think that's the only way you would do that. But as long as Joe Flacco's upright and healthy, that's all you need. I think you bring up a very solid point, Reese, and I think this is the balancing act that Kevin Stefanski is going to have to do up there. How long? You owe it to Joe Bitonio. You owe it to Wyatt Teller. You owe it to Myles Garrett. You owe it to Denzel Ward. There is a respect that Joe Flacco has in that building and amongst those teammates that is immense. And I don't think that you can go to either one of those rookies too soon, and it's viewed as anything other than kind of waving the white flag for those veterans. I think that's the really tricky thing that Kevin's going to have to deal with, is that part of it. I think that Joe Flacco's a starting quarterback until one of two things. He gets hurt or they're out of it. I think as long as they're hovering around 500, you got to keep putting your best foot forward to be in the mix. I think that's really the challenge. And right now, and it's hard to imagine Dylan and Shedeur doing anything in the next month and a half to 2 months, honestly, to become more prepared and a better option to try to win games than Joe Flacco. So I think until the season is lost, it's got to be Flacco. Otherwise, you lose. They have all these. It's such an interesting, odd mix of players because you have all these guys who are in the prime of their careers who you're paying bigly. All the while, the quarterback thing is what it is. So that's the challenge, I think, for Kevin Stefanski this year, is how to manage all of that. Dom Taberi in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends, right here on the Fan.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a honey buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours. We can come the day you call us.
We're 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
Brian, I've been meaning to ask you something.
Okay, ask away.
Sometimes when we're talking, I hear a little sparkling sound.
Is it when one of us says, all you have to do is point?
There it is. Did you hear that?
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic? Like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Oh, 1-800.
Dormar, your climate hero.
When your furnace or air conditioner is broke, we come out that same day. Dormar, home the Tin Man.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hey, Ohio State fans. While others cut corners, you know, like that team up north, Valvoline Instant Oil Change is Buckeye-level quality. We train hard and treat every day like game day. We're always quick, but never rushed. And you can stay in your car while our experts do the work. Valvoline Instant Oil Change is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Visit valvoline.com/Buckeyes to find your nearest location and access exclusive fan savings.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Bishop and Friends present Tuesdays with Taberry.
Sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy today at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP.
Can you believe it's game week, buddy?
Yes, I can. And I'll tell you what.
You can believe it? It didn't sneak up on you?
No, it's been building. It never ends. You know that. It never ends. It just seems like we were in the stadium celebrating the Natty.
Yeah.
And then here we are. And, I've been doing this. This is my 44th season.
God.
And I'm going to, and tell me if I'm wrong, but this is the biggest game I've ever covered in an opener.
Oh, God, it's not close.
And I think this could be, and I would argue, the biggest opener in Ohio State history.
I think it's the biggest opener in college football history.
Well, you could make that argument, too, yeah. I mean,
we've never had 1 versus 2 to open the season in the defending national champions. I mean, we've never had anything like this.
This is insane. And just Hollywood could not have picked a better film. This is incredible. And, I know, and I saw your tweet I just fired back, too. Fans are nervous. Bottom line, folks, is let me tell you something. You got 2 evenly matched teams. And Bo's right. It's going to come down to who protects the ball. It's going to come down to stupid penalties, who makes the most. And at the end of the day, there's a place out in the desert called Las Vegas, and they don't get many wrong. And Ohio State is opened as a 3-point favorite for a reason.
Yeah.
And so they're going to be fine. I think this is going to come down to the end of the game. But I remember what happened a year ago. Not quite a year ago, in that semifinal game, in a home game for Texas.
Yeah.
And Ohio State won that game 28-14. But I imagine just pure bedlam on Saturday. This whole thing with this Pontnoy gentleman, I don't know who this guy is, whatever his name is. I don't particularly care.
Yeah.
It's not about him. It's about Ohio State and Texas. It's not about this guy. And, I know how you feel about the noon games. They paid the money. They got it. It's their circus. But I don't even know this guy, and I don't want to know the guy. I've seen the language he uses. Not my kind of guy.
Yeah. Well, and the thing that's been tricky about this is Ohio State's released statements, Big Ten's released statements, and you still have media members acting like he's been banned and talking about it like he's been banned.
Well, he's embraced it himself.
Of course, because we're talking about it.
Yeah, and as I said, not my kind of guy.
No. I led the show with this today, and this notion of like the man in the arena. I would argue that nobody who is in the media in this town knows Ryan better than you. I think that's a fair statement, that you know him better than anybody. What I'm curious about, because I saw a guy after the Michigan game who got punched in the gut.
Right.
And got knocked down to his knees. But I saw a guy who stood up and then won the fight in the biggest way possible. My hunch is it changed him in a lot of ways. And my hunch is the Ryan Day that we saw in the playoff is the Ryan Day that we're going to see from here out going forward. You're close with the man. What did that run do to change him fundamentally as a coach, as a person, all of it?
I think, first of all and foremost, this guy is different from a lot of coaches from the standpoint that, he took all this and, I give him credit. It's not easy being the head coach at Ohio State. And what makes Ohio State so great is what makes it so tough to be at. And, for what he and his family endured, I give him credit. Because he easily could have said, I'm not doing this. I'm going to the NFL because of where he came from. But I think you're right. I think that it took a big off his back, that million-pound elephant that was on his back. Yeah. Now, he's still got to beat those guys. Don't get that wrong.
Yeah,
I mean, that game's still huge. But the game has changed. You and I have said that there's going to be a learning curve. And no matter what happens in this game Saturday, Ohio State's still going to be alive. And Ohio State will it'll take I don't know what to keep them from getting into the playoff, a total collapse. They're going to get into the playoff every year. And, I give him credit. What I love most about him is he's not backing up at all. What he is saying now is, I want to be the first coach to win back-to-back national titles. I want to be in the Woody Hayes. I mean, and he's embracing it. I love that about him. And, he's a lot of things. He's a complex guy, and I think the world of him. I think he is the best coach in college football. And, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And I think, what he has had to go through has made him stronger. And, Coach Coop used to say, if you're going to coach at Ohio State, you better have elephant skin, I mean, because you got to have some thick skin. I mean, I remember guys calling for, Coach Coop to be fired. And, Ryan hears that. But I got news for you. They used to call for Woody Hayes to be fired.
Buddy.
Urban had his detractors. Jim Tressel had his detractors. Coop has the greatest line ever. Think about this. He tells all the coaches, make as much money as you can because not too many of us leave here happy.
It's funny you bring up Urban. I remember when Urban got hired, and I was doing the show with AR at that time, and we were taking calls at that time, and a lot of people were like, well, he's got to prove it that he can win up here. And I'm like, what more prove it? Like he won right away at Bowling Green. He won 2 national titles at Florida. Like, he's going to win here.
Right.
Like, yeah, this is the toughest criticism that you can get in the sport because of the demands and because of the attention. It's why we all love it, but there's also a little bit of a curse that comes with it as well. What do you think? I mean, we've never, to your point and a point I've been hammering home for the last month, you've never had an opener like this.
No.
Usually a quarterback making his first start in his redshirt freshman season gets to wade into it a little bit.
Yeah.
What do you think their approach will be with Sayin on Saturday?
Here's what I'm thinking, and I think from what I've been able to gather is that this quarterback race was very, very, very tight. You look at what the strength of Ohio State's football team is, it's their receiver core. Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
And I think the best opportunity that, he said we got to win the game. I think the best opportunity they have is with Julian Sayin throwing the football. That's going to be the strength, and I think that's what they're going with. And I think, they had to name a starter. 10 days out before the game, they had to name a starter because he has to get, whoever it is, had to get all the reps, has to get all the confidence. And the thing that I feel most confident about going into this game, Sayin can flat out throw the football. He's very accurate, pinpoint. Now he's got, and he's done it in practice. As they said, he was the most consistent. Now he's got to do it on the biggest stage there is in the biggest game ever, perhaps, and his first start. What I think gives me comfort, and I think what would give Ryan Day comfort tonight, is that they've got the best offensive line he's probably had since he's been here. These guys learned under fire last year. They faced all kind of adversity, and now they're coming back, and they're coming back as national champions. And that receiver core and that tight end core, those guys are real deals. I mean, these are all, Buckeyes on Sunday, first and second round pickers. And that's who he's going to be playing catch with. And I'll tell you, don't sleep on the running game. I think Loughlin's got him going, and I love what we had a year ago, but I think these guys are going to reload in the running game too. I'm pumped about this Ohio State offense. Obviously, it all starts with Julian Sayin, but I think their strength is going to be throwing the football, and I think as far as just a pure passer, he gives them the best option.
Yeah, and I think that it can also be true that the team they are in November is going to be vastly different than this team because they're built. By the time we get to November, this is built to spin it all over the field. To your point, we've never had a tight end room like this.
No.
You got to go back to Ricky Dudley to have tight end rooms like this. You know him. I mean, it's been a long time. Let me ask you this, and I'll get you out of here on this one, buddy. How do you think this looks on Saturday? Obviously, you're going to pick Ohio State to win, but just from the perspective of, because one thing I kind of think, when you play this type of game this early, sometimes it's not the prettiest game. No. It doesn't mean it won't lack drama. It doesn't mean that it won't go down to the last minute and have all sorts of, on the edge of your seat. But my hunch is that it's going to be a little clunky. And while it will be thrilling, it could be a little bit awkward for both teams a little bit. How do you see it Saturday?
I think that's fair. And, everyone talks about Arch Manning and, he's making his first. No, this is not his first start. And he's been in the program 3 years. The big debate is this his last year, one and done at Texas as a player and whatever. I think there could be some clunkiness. And Ryan Day keeps saying we got to play clean.
Yeah.
And what he's saying is they cannot turn the ball over. I heard you earlier. Cliches are said because they're true. Yeah. Whoever turns the ball over more in this game will lose. I mean, that's just the way it's going to go. But more importantly, to me, his biggest turnovers are stupid penalties and lack of execution. And you feel like you're ready, but let's face facts. Texas has got some talented players. Ohio State's got some talented players. I think the talent will equate. They both have young players that are going to be playing at different positions. I love the fact that this game is in the horseshoe. Mm-hmm. My challenge to the fans is to understand that this is going to be a little bit of a work in progress probably on Saturday. You need to stay up. Show these Texas people what it's like to come into Ohio Stadium because they're running their mouths, and I'm hearing that kind of stuff. Let them see what it's like to be in Ohio Stadium. Be the 12th man. Make a difference as fans in there. Keep this team fired up. But, yeah, I think that, it's going to come down to who doesn't turn the ball over the most and who plays cleaner football as far as penalties go. Yeah. I think Ohio State, though, has the weapons to do it. Let me ask you a question. Who would I trade Jeremiah Smith for Texas for who? No one. Who would I trade Caleb Downs for? No one. And Julian saying, let me just say this about this kid. Nick Saban wanted him.
Well, he got him.
And got him.
His last quarterback.
And got him. And I've seen that kid throw. And I think he's going to, he's got to calm down. And, the one thing I love is he's got the quarterback whisperer helping him, And I think the Ohio State defense is going to be better than people think. I've been hearing, I'm worried about the defensive front. I think they're going to be fine.
I'm with you on that. I think the defense is going to be elite. I think this is going to be fun, man. We've been talking about it for months.
Biggest game, and I just think it's going to be nuts. I'm running into all these people. I couldn't get tickets, but I'm going to be down there. I don't know if you. I remember when I covered the national title that Tress won in Tempe, and there were more people, Ohio State fans, outside the stadium standing than there were in because they couldn't get tickets. I'd never seen anything like it. I mean, it was just people everywhere. I got a feeling that's what it's going to be like Saturday. I may head down there at 3 o'clock to make sure I can get a parking spot.
3 a.m.?
It may be.
Just go straight from 1st and 10. Just go straight,
just go
straight
down.
up 315 North and just camp out there.
Amen to that, brother. You going to be there?
I'll be there.
I'll look for you.
All right, buddy. I'll see you. There he goes. Great Dom Taberry, 10TV joining on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We do Thing or Not a Thing. Up next, Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Get your air conditioner fixed fast. Call Care Heating and Cooling. 1-800-COOLING.
Parents, are your teens good with money?
No.
Switch to Huntington Bank and let's teach them. They get their own card, which they can add to their digital wallet, and you can monitor and set spending limits. Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome. Eligibility requirements apply. Some features may require enrollment.
The summer event is still on at Germain Honda of Dublin, and the deals are hot. Lease the rugged 25 Honda Ridgeline Sport for just $339 a month, or finance with an unbeatable 0.99% APR. Or drive home in the new 25 Honda Prologue EX. Lease it now for only $149 a month, or 0% APR, plus no payments for 90 days. Get the deal you deserve at Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road, just south of 270. See dealer for full details.
Imagine what it would feel like getting tackled head-on by a 240-pound linebacker. You'd be in serious pain, right?
But if you're unbuckled in a car crash, at just 50 miles an hour, you become a deadly projectile that can slam into other passengers with 8 times that amount of force. Don't let someone else take the hit. Buckle up and visit buckleup.ohio.gov to learn more. Brought to you by ODOT and ODPS.
You may play the Ohio Lottery, but how well do you know the odds? True or false? When more people play Powerball or Mega Millions, the odds of winning a jackpot are worse. It's false. The odds for draw games don't change. The game design sets the odds, so your odds stay the same no matter who plays or how big the jackpot is. The only thing that is worse is the number of coworkers expecting free lunch if you win. I mean, how many tacos can one man buy every Tuesday? Learn more about common lottery myths at ohiolottery.com/knowtheodds. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at tmobile.com.
If you have an unhealthy obsession with the Blue Jackets, we have just the remedy. Join us Wednesday nights at 7 for the Inside Edge. All the Jackets and hockey conversation you can handle. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Is there anything better than a college football Saturday? Not if you're at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Join the Fan for watch parties for the games this season. Oh, you got to check out the display case of amazing autographed prizes you can win. It's beautiful. 2 massive TV walls to watch the national champs. Watch and place wagers with over 30 kiosks, contests, prizes, and live shows. Must be 21 or older to enter. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Delaware County Veterans Services is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Give Delaware County Veterans Services a call, 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment.
Earn 2% cash back on purchases and pay 0% APR on balance transfers for 15 months with a new Kemba Financial Credit Union Visa. That's more rewards and less interest. Apply at Kemba.org. For purchases and balance transfers made in the first 90 days, restrictions apply. APR equals annual percentage rate. Variable and subject to change. Equal opportunity lender expires 10/31/25.
It's almost Football Friday. All play and no work.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for football, The Fan. Connect with the show on X at 971BFS. Jump in our YouTube chat or just send a raven. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on a Tuesday edition. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
All right, so as we've been talking throughout the show, NFL Cutdown Day is 4 o'clock today. All 32 teams must have their rosters to 53 players. They'll be taking into week 1 of the NFL season, which is 1 week from Sunday. Cleveland.com had the report this morning that Deontay Johnson will not be making the Browns 53. Deontay Johnson, about 20 minutes ago, sent out this tweet: appreciate the opportunity regardless. Thing or not a thing?
I think not a thing. It became pretty obvious as camp went along that he was maybe not in the plans. I think if you go take a look at the preseason games and the snaps that he got, and even some of the preseason and joint practice stuff they did where he should have really shined against 3s and 4s and 2s and 3s, he just didn't. So he's a wild one to wrap your head around, because obviously there was a moment in Pittsburgh where you would have said he looks like a very capable number 2 receiver on a very good team. And since then, it's been a mess. I mean, how many teams has he played on in the last 18 months? It's at least 4, isn't it? Pittsburgh, Carolina, Baltimore, and Cleveland. So maybe I'm missing one.
Was he with the Texans?
He was with the Texans
maybe?
too.
Texans too? Okay, so it's 5 teams in 8. I mean, it's just there's something off there, and we'll see if he can get it back. But it's one of those strange cases of just who knows what happened, but fell off a cliff.
This is not a thing at all. This is a predictable thing. And the thing here to me is that he lasted so long. I have said this forever, and I will beat this drum until the day I die. If you are a playmaker and the Pittsburgh Steelers give up on you in what is still considered your prime, everybody else in the league should run because it's not going to work out. There's a reason the Steelers said bye-bye.
Some more NFL news from Monday. Jacoby Myers, receiver for the Vegas Raiders, asked Las Vegas to trade him after the two sides failed to work out a new contract. Raiders told Myers they have no plans to honor that request. In 2024, Myers caught 87 balls for over 1,000 yards and 4 touchdowns. He was their second leading receiver behind Brock Bowers. Then later in the afternoon, it was reported the Raiders signed Amari Cooper to a 1-year deal. Cooper was originally drafted by the then Oakland Raiders with the 4th pick in 2015. Cooper, he's 31, split time between the Browns and the Bills last season. Thing or not a thing?
The Myers thing is a thing, for sure. They obviously need him. Pete's up in age. Like, he's not going there to screw around. Like, I'm sure he wants to get him in the playoffs. He wants to have a winning season. He wants to do all of those things right away. So they're obviously all in on that. The Amari Cooper one is a wild one to wrap your head around because the last time that he played a full season in Cleveland in 2023 was his best season in the NFL. He broke the single-game receiving record with the Browns. When Flacco came in, he was as good as any receiver in football. And then last year in training camp, he just didn't look the same. And then even in the games, like he had the drops. You guys remember that at the beginning of last year? He kind of had the dropsies and was like, what is going on with Coop? Then they traded him to Buffalo, and we all kind of jumped on it and said, okay, from a fantasy perspective, he's going to go in there and be their number one receiver, but it never happened. So it could be one of those situations. He's been unsigned all camp. He's just sitting there, and nobody signed him. So they finally get him done. All of this, I would say, is not a thing, but I think the Cooper thing is very interesting because how do you fall that far that fast? Like, it was like in a year, like 6 months.
I think both of these are things because we talked about it the other day with the Raiders. They have nothing in their receiver room behind Jacoby Myers, and now they signed Amari Cooper. And I'm a little bummed here, and I know like it didn't look right last year for Amari Cooper. I would have took a flyer on that if I was the Browns, that him and Joe Flacco could rekindle some of that magic and having Jerry Jeudy there. And listen, David Njoku, the most prosperous time of his career was with Joe Flacco throwing him the football. I would have tried to rekindle a little of that magic that Amari and Joe Flacco had a couple years ago. I hope Amari Cooper is still, he's not old. He's just 31 years old.
Yeah.
Hopefully for him, he can go find some of that magic with the Raiders. We know Geno Smith can sling it around. He'll throw it to the other team sometimes and give up some stupefying plays at one time or another. But he has had success with like DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett and Jackson Smith and Jigba in Seattle and with Pete Carroll. So hopefully Amari Cooper can revive his career a little bit here.
On Monday, Nike introduced Caitlin Clark as the brand's newest signature athlete. Being their signature athlete entails a new signature logo, a collection of sportswear and apparel, and eventually a signature sneaker. Clark's signature logo, according to the release, is about her magnetic connection with fans around the globe who are drawn to her unwavering confidence, steadfast commitment, and remarkable shooting ability. Adding Caitlin's game was built from the inside out, a product of her passion for the sport, relentless drive, and constant pursuit of perfection. Her logo collection will feature T-shirts, hoodies, shorts, and pants for all ages, as well as premium pieces for adults, and will be available starting August 1st. A navy and yellow logo shirt will be out on September 1st, and then her first signature shoe and signature apparel collection will debut in 2026. Thing or not a thing?
How was this not ready this year? Like, what took Nike this long? She's been a Nike athlete for 2 years. What took them this long to get this done? One thing, and obviously she is a phenomenon the likes of which we've never seen. I mean, I'm the guy who compared her to Tiger Woods in terms of her appeal and the way that it changes when she's involved and when she's not. Hasn't she missed this entire season? Like, she hasn't played in months. So she's got to get healthy. And it's a hamstring or a groin, something like that?
Yeah,
Is that
I think
what
it was a groin.
Yeah, like to miss months of the season is pretty wild, because it's definitely derailed it's the worst timing for the WNBA players, right? Because they're trying to do a new CBA and all of these things, and then here their most valuable commodity misses the entire season, basically.
Bo, I'm guessing this took so long for Nike because they really wanted to get the logo perfect with these 3 C's that almost looks like a football somehow. Like they took all this time and you can't get a little better logo than this. It looks like something like the UFL would have as a logo for their football or something. But this is a big thing, right? Like, she draws like no other in sports right now. She is the needle in women's basketball, and it's crazy. Like you said, she hasn't played in so long here. But this is a cool thing for Caitlin, and a cool thing that a lot of these women are getting their own signature shoes and things like that now.
And for what it's worth, Clark hasn't played since the middle of July.
Yeah, and even then it was minimal. So, yeah, she hasn't just missed a lot of games, unfortunately. I don't know if you guys have heard, Texas is coming to town, and their quarterback is really famous. You'll hear from him coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
All the Ohio State conversation you can handle. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
Your Ohio State flagship station. The Fan.
Common Man here for Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. It's the last month for the Golden Opportunity Sales Event. That means you get special APRs with 3.99% up to 60 months on their most popular models. Lease payments as low as $419 per month. Also, plenty of pre-owned L-certified vehicles are on the lot with rates as low as 5.75%. If you're in the market, please stop in and see my guys. Jermaine Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton. Check them out online, JermaineLexus.com.
And we're back talking all things connectivity with Spectrum customers Kev and Melissa. So tell us, how long have you been with Spectrum, and how important is a reliable internet connection?
We've been Spectrum customers since we moved 12 years ago. The first thing we did is sign up for Spectrum Internet.
You get a lease, you get Wi-Fi.
Yes,
immediately.
We need that. We had Spectrum Wi-Fi before our couch got here.
That's true. That's a true story.
I'll sleep on the floor, but I won't go to bed with no internet.
You heard it here. Switch to Spectrum now.
Hey, it's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Wilson, I just had the greatest day today. One of our customers in Delaware literally happy cried. Her new windows just completely transformed her home. It was just magical.
Oh, so you like magic.
Well, that's not what I was saying.
Is this your card?
Wilson, you didn't even... Okay, sure. That was my card.
And magic.
Get the windows that can change the look and feel of your home at PellaColumbus.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
No one does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Whatever your preference, we have everything from tequila cocktails and an extensive bourbon category to top shelf spirits and cocktails served over ice balls. And don't forget about our 29-degree drafts.
Hi, I'm Coach Ryan Day, and I've seen firsthand how tough and resilient kids can be. But I've also seen the struggles that aren't always visible. Mental health challenges are real. That's why I'm proud to partner with the Kids Mental Health Foundation. Together, we're helping parents, teachers, and coaches talk to kids about mental health before there is a concern or crisis. Start making kids' mental health a part of every day with free tools and resources at kidsmentalhealthfoundation.org.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at runyondentalgroup.com. That's runyondentalgroup.com.
Hey friends, Beamer here. Summer's winding down, but you know what? There's still time to drop 20 with Awaken 180's 20-pound summer slim down. That's how I got started, 20 gone fast, and it propelled me straight to my goal of dropping over 75 pounds. You'll still eat, drink, enjoy summer, but the scale's finally moving. Then you finally hit fall with some energy, confidence, and clothes that actually fit again. Awaken 180's coaches, they keep you on track so the weight stays off. You can go to awaken180weightloss.com to start your first 20 now and finish summer on a win streak.
Cash for Clunkers continues during the Honda Summer Event at Lindsay Honda.
Listen up, Columbus. Cash for Clunkers is big money towards your next ride.
Up to $3,500 minimum for your trade.
Use it for the down payment, negative equity, or keep the cash.
Lease a new 2025 HR-V two-wheel drive LX or 2026 Civic four-door LX for just $299 a month. Zero cash down. Just bring us your clunker. Shop Lindsay Honda, the big Honda store now. For details, visit lindsayhonda.com.
Your fantasy draft is here. The Smack Talk is starting, and this season, ESPN Bet is giving you more ways to ride with your squad. Introducing ESPN Bet Fan Center, where you can instantly link and bet on your fantasy teams right in the ESPN Bet app. An enhanced sports betting experience only from ESPN Bet, the sports book for sports fans. Download the app today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or two half geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Ohio State head coach Ryan Day will hold his first game week press conference about an hour from now, previewing the Buckeyes matchup this Saturday against top-ranked Texas. We'll carry those comments live on the Fan when he hits the podium. The season debut of the Ryan Day radio show will be Thursday at noon statewide on the Ohio State Sports Network and locally right here on the Fan. In the NFL, 53-man rosters must be finalized by 4 o'clock today. The Browns are carrying 3 quarterbacks into the season after trading Kenny Pickett on Monday. Cleveland's also cut veteran wide receiver Deontay Johnson. The Bengals will have Trey Hendrickson on the field week 1 against the Browns. Cincinnati gave him a $14 million raise on Monday afternoon. This update sponsored by Roosters. Roosters is giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences, tickets, sideline passes, and trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Register today and every day at roosterswings.com. Breaking sports news when it happens on the Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
First Friday miracles are always better with Uncle Bo. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, final hour here on a Tuesday. Good buddy Justin Zwick going to join in about 27 minutes from now. Here's a little, we kind of operate in the job that we do in 2 separate reality spheres. There is one that we spend most of our time in on this show and the listeners of this show, which is knee deep in the muck on college football 24/7, 365. I mean, we cover all of it. If it's happening in college football at the highest level of the sport, that's what we do. When we set up the show, that's what we wanted it to be. We wanted it to be a show that is in the minutia and specializes in college football dialogue. And that's what we do. Most of what we do is college football conversation year-round. You like it. We enjoy doing it. I think it's the most fun thing you can talk about in the sport. The other content sphere is big sports content sphere. And that's the one that when we have Paul on every Thursday, every once in a while, he'll remind us of. That there is a content, sports content world that exists where college football is certainly the number 2 thing, but it is a distant number 2. In this instance, second is 8th to the National Football League. So in that sphere, you have people you have people who are craving for things that maybe they're just now discovering. So this brings us to Arch Manning. For those of us who do this every day, the Arch Manning story could at times, and for some of you out there listening, it could get exhausting. Because you've been hearing about this kid for 5 years if you follow recruiting. You've at no fault of the families. They appear to have done everything right on every front. They appear to have. It's actually pretty remarkable, and we'll talk about that in a second. But we've been talking about it. Those of us who specialize in college football have been talking about it and are very well aware of everything that comes with it. In the other sports content sphere, sure, they're aware of him. Sure, they talk about it from time to time. but now it's center stage. So that's how you get the story on ESPN today, from an excerpt from Seth Wickersham's book on building the quarterbacks. This massive story on how the Manning family got Arch to this point relatively normal, which is a tremendous accomplishment for that family. It's how you get today a wide-ranging story in the Wall Street Journal about Arch Manning. Because for the majority of those listeners' content, the people who take in that content, they haven't been hit over the head with this kid for the last 4 or 5 years like we have. Right? So this week, you're going to get that nonstop, and I think rightfully so. You may be sick of the conversation, but the reality is we've never really had anything like this. This is the first family of American football. That's what this is. This is the Kennedys, like that type of thing. I mean, that's kind of what this is. You have a situation where you have a grandfather, 2 uncles, both had the type of careers that they've had, and then this kid was next man up. And what I think they did in raising him, and the Wickersham piece kind of chronicles it, and we've talked about this before, one thing Cooper Manning did, his father, was, hey, there's a great quote in the Wickersham piece today at ESPN. This is going to be a 1975 recruitment. So they didn't accept offers from colleges in the traditional way so that coaches could make a big deal about the offer. They made the gatekeeper for him his high school football coach, and he had almost no direct contact with coaches. So anytime anybody wanted to talk with Arch, they had to go to Isidore Newman High School in New Orleans, and they had to talk to the high school football coach. Arch wasn't taking calls. His first tweet was, "I've committed to Texas." This is his first ever social media post.
It's a good tweet.
Pretty good tweet. That was it. And when you listen to him, and we've got, what do we got here, Bake? 7 bites from him from his availability Monday?
Maybe a minute worth in audio?
That's the point. Every answer is 11 seconds or less. He's built for this. Now, we have no idea how could anybody live up to this? How could anybody live up to this hype? I mean, this is the Bronny James situation. It'd be like if Bronny James sat for 2 years, and then in his third year at USC, he decided he was finally going to get to play, and he was the preseason player of the year, and they were the number 1 team in the country. Like, that's the only thing that we have that's in the vicinity of this with this kid. When Dane Brugler says he's my number 1 rated quarterback, I go, that's an attention getter for me. Because one of the things I'm curious about when we talk to people from Texas, and we'll talk to him throughout the week as it goes along, is, are we sure he's good? We have such a small sample size with him. But here's what I know he's good at. I know he's good at the preparation that it took to get to this point. And he is a masterclass in how, if you were running a college football program, how you would want them to handle all of it. Magnanimous, self-deferential, quick to give credit to others. Just have a listen to a couple of these. Here's Arch on when he plays the best when he's having fun.
For me, I feel like I'm playing best when I'm having fun. So just remind myself to have fun. We do all the preparation throughout the week and throughout this summer. So once you get out there, just cut it loose and have some fun.
He sounds just like Eli.
He does.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, he does. I'm sure they all go to the same tailor, too. One family, one tailor. Here is Arch on the Texas defense, getting him ready for the start on Saturday.
I think our defense is really good. Some days it's not so fun, but they're a really good group, and it's definitely good for me going against those guys every day.
It's a masterclass in, here's the answer to the question, but I'm not giving you anything more. Here's another one. Here's playing on the road at Ohio Stadium.
It's us against the world when you're on the road, and I think the teams in the previous years, I think Quinn did a really good job on the road. He had a ridiculous record on the road, so learn from him and the teams last year to carry over for this year.
Look at that. A lot of people say, why didn't he play last year? What did he do in a random answer on a Monday before the Ohio State game? Quinn was great. I could learn from Quinn. Diffuses it, right away. Here he is on the Buckeye defense he'll face on Saturday.
We're full on Ohio State now, so I'm thinking about them a lot. But they're a really good team. Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles, they got some good players, so we're going to have our hands full, but it's going to be a fun one.
I mean, he just sounds just like Archie, or like Eli and Peyton. I mean, Eli is exact. You guys are right on that. I mean, it sounds just like it. Here he is on trying to minimize hits.
Yeah, I think I just need to be smart. Obviously, those hits add up. My grandfather, he can, he's hobbling around these days, and he ends every call with "get down" or "get out of bounds." So I'm definitely hearing it a lot.
It's too good. They're all the same.
They're all the same, man. I envy it as a parent that they've seemed to have done this. That Archie and Olivia Manning have raised kids this way who are ultimately talented and appear to have kind of the right comedic timing and the right feel for things. They just really seem to. There's something about it. I think he is set up, and I think one of the things I talked about this earlier in the show, I think sometimes locally and even some of the folks nationally are minimizing his experience because it's not much. But it's a whole extra year, and it's 3 full starts. He started 3 games. He was thrown into the fire in the Georgia game. Like, he has experience that our guy doesn't. It doesn't mean you can't overcome it. It doesn't mean that Julian isn't going to be great. But there is, from the Texas side, do you have the returning quarterback? No. But you got about the next best thing. And when you just kind of go through all of it, I think the chess match between Matt Patricia and specifically Caleb Downs and Arch Manning is going to be one of the coolest things we've ever seen. Because Caleb is a football savant. Brilliant football player. A lot of the guys, they'll call him Coach Downs a lot. A lot of the players will. We've heard him say that in camp. Ultimately prepared. Well, the guy who's going to be the single caller on the other end is going to be ultimately prepared. And that chess match to me between Sark and Patricia and Downs and Manning, that's the strength versus strength. Because I think this is the best defense Arch Manning is going to face all year. I do. I think this is the most talented. I think it's more talented than Georgia's. We'll see if it's more talented than Clemson's. Clemson's is way up there. But I think it is. I think it's the best back seven he's going to face. So you're getting that week 1. Are you completely ready for that? These are going to be the things as we get closer that you're going to pay very close attention to on all of it. Obviously, a ton of hype surrounding him, and it's only going to get bigger going forward. And same is true for this week. This is one of the greatest week 1s maybe in the history of the sport. We'll dig in on that a little bit coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
Did you know Byers Airport Subaru is the oldest Subaru retailer in the entire country? And just like a veteran quarterback, we've been delivering winning drives for generations, right here by the airport. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event, trade in your car for a new 2025 Subaru Outback for 0% for up to 36 months. Kick off your next adventure at ColumbusSubaru.com. Subject to credit approval. Financing offer term up to 36 months on 2025 Subaru Outback. Cannot be combined with any other incentive. See dealer for details. Offer ends 9/2/25.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Colin Man and Timmy here for the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino.
Mikey, it's time for the ultimate fan experience. You could win tickets to the big home team game.
Legal?
Oh, legal.
Oh, illegal.
Legal. Against a team that wears orange on August 30th.
It all goes down Thursday, August 28th from 6 to 7. All you have to do is use your Penn Play card or the Penn Play app during the month of August.
And you can win a bunch of other prizes as well. The more you play, the more opportunities you have to win.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Gambler.
On Jackpocket, America's #1 lottery app. New customers opt in and get a free lottery ticket. Download the app and start ordering lottery tickets today. Use code VOCAL. That's code VOCAL on Jackpocket. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 18 or older. Jackpocket is a lottery courier and not affiliated with the Ohio Lottery. Opt in for $5 in non-withdrawable lottery credits that expire in 168 hours. Terms at jkpt.co/draw5.
Looking for bold flavors and award-winning spirits? High Bank Distillery is your destination for handcrafted cocktails, locally inspired dishes, and Whiskey War, the nationally recognized whiskey. Stop by their Grandview, Gahanna, and Westerville locations this week. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank.
Tailgate season is here, and if your grill makes you have to duck when you light it, it's time for an upgrade. Billiards Plus carries top-of-the-line grills that you can pass down to your kids and gifts the whole family will enjoy. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. American Family Insurance can help protect your dream home for whatever comes next. You can live in your own oasis or your own clubhouse. Whatever you choose, get the right coverage. Save up to 23% by bundling home and auto. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Jump on board now with the 20-pound summer slim down with Awaken 180 weight loss. Drop 20 pounds before summer ends and cruise into fall with a new routine of better health. Do what I did and find your results with the solution for weight loss at awaken180weightloss.com.
Do you feel that? The season is getting closer. Buckeye football comes your way in 4 days. Every game, every season. Proud to be your flagship home for Ohio State football. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
An official message from Medicare.
I'm saving money on my Medicare prescriptions. Maybe you can save too. With Medicare's Extra Help program, my premium is $0 and my out-of-pocket costs are low. Who should apply? Single people making less than $24,000 a year or married couples who make less than $32,000. Even if you don't think you qualify, it pays to find out.
Go to ssa.gov/extrahelp. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Imagine what it would feel like getting tackled head-on by a 240-pound linebacker. You'd be in serious pain, right? But if you're unbuckled in a car crash, at just 50 miles an hour, you become a deadly projectile that can slam into other passengers with 8 times that amount of force. Don't let someone else take the hit. Buckle up and visit buckleup.ohio.gov to learn more. Brought to you by ODOT and ODPS.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
The crisp feeling of fall is in the air, so you might need a light jacket today as daytime highs only get into the low 70s. We'll see clouds increase throughout the day, although there will be some sunshine mixed in, and we could see a stray shower or two, otherwise mainly dry. Decreasing clouds tonight with lows in the 40s to low 50s again, and then for Wednesday, a tad bit warmer with more sunshine and highs in the mid-70s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
During this 10-second promo, Rothman will lose money gambling on something.
People like you come here and blow the family nest egg that built this town.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan. After putting up with Dom Tiberi for a decade, the broadcast gods gave Bo these two. This is Bishop and Friends.
And the Capital Florida Columbus High School football game of the week takes us to Hilliard this Friday. Darby hosting Bradley. Coverage starts 6:30, kickoff at 7 after the game. Byers Subaru Dublin overtime with Bake and Lee Cochran. It's Friday nights. They're for high school football on the Fan. Good one there, Bake.
Should be a good game. Both of these teams had down years last year, but Darby has a new coaching staff, Brad Birchfield, who had been at Hartley for years, won a couple state titles, moved over there this year. And Bradley, they were just young last year. Their quarterback's a junior. This is his second year, and they've got a sophomore running back that's really impressive.
That's nice to hear. I can't remember. It might have been Quiz. Shared me the play from week 1. I think it was in the DeSales game where they called it a touch.
Oh,
Did you see this?
Yeah, I saw that. The Berlin people were not too happy.
So if you haven't seen the clip, and look, these are all humans. There's no instant replay in high school football. Unfortunately, there's not. This is a really tight game, and DeSales completes a pass for a touchdown that's viewed as it's called a touchdown on the field. There was someone who was filming the game behind the end zone, and you clearly see the ball bounce on the ground. And then the receiver catches it on the bounce, and the referee somehow missed it.
So
they're humans. I mean, things can happen. There's no intent.
I saw the play, and then the video, they slow it down
Mm-hmm.
and then I saw it, and then I went back and watched the play again, and I know what I'm looking for, and it's still really hard to see in real time.
It's quick.
So I could imagine how for a referee there, a couple referees looking at that and all kinds of crazy things happening, how you could miss that. It's still something you don't want to be missed, and it looks bad, but real time, even when I knew what I was looking for, it was hard to see.
It was. It happened so quick. In fact, when I first saw the video, I'm like, I don't see it. And then I was able to. And look, they're human, and they make mistakes too, like the rest of us. So, but it's obviously one you'd like to have back. In terms of this weekend, if you could go to, go ahead, Reese.
Well, I was just going to say, in regards to this weekend, as you were about to bring up, I think the college football Week 1 slate.
Sure. Yeah.
Who's picking college football games against the spread Thursday? You and Baker?
How do you guys? So, Reese, you have been NFL picks.
I was 50 games over 500
Killed
for
it.
NFL picks last season. I would like to continue that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Then
we can't
Bake-
break that up.
Okay.
Yeah. So then Bake will do
scores.
college. He'll do the scores Friday. You'll do NFL picks because we do NFL. We do college picks Fridays.
Well,
so
I ask because there is college football Thursday.
Well, we'll probably have some fun picking that game. But if you've looked at the schedule, and I know you have, we're not going to have a hard time coming up with 10 games to pick for Saturday and Sunday and Monday.
Okay.
I mean, it's loaded.
Just wanted to get that out there. I know probably should be producing behind the scenes, but I thought to bring it up.
No. We have had, it's funny because we have one of those bump backs that talks about they give budding advice, but it might not be good. No. Opposite. If you go look at the track record of this show, picking NFL games, because I want to say it was 2 years ago, I was upwards of 60 games over 500 picking NFL games. We pick them all against the number. We do the same in the college. We just call it scores. You have to pay attention to the scores on it, but if you pay attention to the score, the numbers are all there. And I don't think we've ever had a losing season. Like, it's going to happen at some point, but we haven't had one yet. So, yeah. And week one, I think week one in college football is, really NFL. And I think if you are locked in, there's a chance for you to crush it because some of the lines don't make sense to what the actual teams are. But it's a really difficult one to try to navigate is week one. And this week one is nuts. We've never had anything like what is coming down the pipe on starting. I mean, you're right. First game's on Thursday. You got games all weekend long, but that Saturday slate of ranked versus ranked, and then to follow it right back up with a really fun Sunday afternoon and night, and then isn't Monday night TCU North Carolina?
Yep.
Do I have that
correct.
right?
8 o'clock.
Yeah. So you get Jordan Hudson's debut as the North Carolina head coach on Monday night.
Ooh, haven't heard that name in a while.
I missed her. They vaporized her pretty quick, didn't they?
They have done a good job after that CBS interview of getting her out of the picture.
That's all anybody was talking about for like 3 weeks, and then we haven't heard anything in months. That's enough. Let's lock it up there. Think about the big storylines. We did 20 most interesting programs back in July and the early part of August. Think of the storylines heading into this season and our first looks at all of them. Bake was first. I'll give him credit on it. I jumped on right away once I was reminded of the talent that's back on the schedule. There is no scenario where Clemson is not in the mix at the end. It would be an abject failure for Dabo, the amount of talent they have back. Defensively, offensively, receiver room, returning quarterback, all of it. I mean, it checks every single box. They open in the battle for the original Death Valley hosting LSU on Saturday night. In a season, Brian Kelly hasn't won an opener at LSU, guys. He's not won a first game. Think about that. Can you imagine? Ohio State and LSU have a lot of similarities in a program perspective, right? Can you imagine if we went 4 years without an opening game win? Now, they're not playing the Little Sisters of the Poor either. They're playing real teams. A couple of those losses to Florida State. Last year, I can't remember who they lost to. So they're losing to quality opponents. But can you imagine, if we're sitting around here and it's been 4 years and we start every year 0-1?
Wouldn't be great.
No.
And, Bo, we were talking off the air earlier. I kind of hope that LSU breaks that trend and wins week one Because then the Clemson odds they'll drop again, and I can put some more money on it.
I think about you think about the transfer quarterbacks in new places. A lot of people are calling for Cignetti to run it right back because they got the Mendoza kid in at quarterback, and they've added some other transfers. Is Indiana going to be back in the mix again? You get your first look at that. You think about that Saturday afternoon game in Tallahassee. So, as is well documented, I was down there. Bobby Bowden, God rest his soul, revered Bear Bryant. Revered. Tried to model everything he did after Bear. He wanted Alabama to come to Tallahassee only always and only forever. And they never got it done. And they're going to run in there. In Kalen DeBoer's second year, they're going to play. That's the 3:30 game. You want to talk about pressure? Mike Norvell, 2 years removed from an undefeated team that couldn't play in the playoff. Kalen DeBoer in year 2 at Bama, after the most inexplicable loss maybe of all of last season, losing in Norman to that Oklahoma team, and had they just won it, they would have made the playoff. Think about Shane Bieber with Lenora Sellers starting and hosting Virginia Tech in their opener, and people think they're going to break through. Think about Underwood at Michigan. True freshman, starting under the lights, big house, week 1. Is James Franklin high flying at Penn State? They got Nevada in their opener. How about C.J. Carr at Notre Dame? I think sometimes we forget, I mentioned this yesterday, that Carson Beck is quarterbacking Miami. And C.J. Carr is quarterbacking Notre Dame. Lloyd's grandson is quarterbacking Notre Dame. And he debuts in Miami on Sunday night. My hunch is there will be a ton of Irish fans at that game. Tons. I don't expect that to be a massive Miami Hurricanes home field advantage. So we've never had an opener like this one here, and we surely have never had an opening weekend like this, where you have so many teams that we view as contenders who are opening with haymakers just right out of the gates. And also with the acknowledgement that these teams are going to be entirely different by the time we get to November in many instances. So it's a massive week 1, and I can't wait to get there. First game set up for Thursday, of course. Justin Zwick in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks. Trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
You hear that? That's the sound of Pepsi Zero Sugar. The better tasting, more refreshing Zero Sugar Cola. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Let your taste decide.
The Columbus Zoo invites you to follow the footsteps and the tales of animals from around the world. Explore our newest region, North America Trek. So what are you waiting for? Get your tail to our trails only at your Columbus Zoo.
Great Lakes Hyundai. The savings are so good.
Now at Great Lakes Hyundai of Dublin, lease 2 Elantras for $200. That's right, lease 2 new 2025 Elantra SEs for just $200 a month for 24 months. Both your new Elantras come with complimentary Hyundai maintenance with free oil changes and tire rotations for your entire lease. GLakesHyundaiofDublin.com with approved credit, $39.99 down per unit plus taxes, fees, first month payment, 10K miles per year. In time too.
Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Weston Air Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Pull up a stool and ask the bartender for something neat, because Uncle Bo is on the radio. This is Bishop and Friends.
Indeed it is. Time to head out on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline, joined by a great friend, former Ohio State quarterback, fan, post-game show host with the great Brandon Beam, who went to high school as well. He is the great Justin Zwick. Buddy, when Fish told me that you were joining the family, I said to him, you are aware, and I would bet a decent amount of money on this, that for sure the first Ohio State coverage that I did in this town was with you on Buckeye Blitz. And I said, I'm pretty sure that he and I did television 3 nights a week for like 6 years, or maybe not that much, but certainly like 3 or 4, pal. It was a lot of Average Joe sports shows. We did all that stuff like 3 days a week for, how long was it, buddy? 2-3 years?
Oh, golly. I mean, I want to say I was doing 4 or 5 shows back in those days, between high school football and then doing the Average Joe show. I mean, we rocked it until O&N went under, or whatever happened to them. I don't know if it was because of us or what happened, but
you and I did post game, buddy.
Yeah, we did post game, and then that's right. We did a lot of stuff together. The boy from Florida coming up to Columbus, we had to teach you what the Buckeye football was all about.
You did a very good job of it. And I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago when we announced this. We almost came to blows in a dodgeball match. On a scale of 1 to 10, how close were we? My memory of it was the kid was pretty aggressive until you like stepped up to him, and then it was a quick retreat. That's the way I remember it.
That's about how I remember it too, and that's too funny bringing that up. I had people calling me like, "What's this dodgeball thing?" I'm like, "Oh boy, that was something. That's for sure."
It's a lot.
I was taking it a little too serious.
Before kids for both of us, buddy. We were different world.
Exactly.
Hey, man, you have been in the position that both Julian Sayin and Arch Manning are in. It's a little different for Arch because he's got 3 starts, and I think sometimes people up here forget that he's got an extra year on campus and the 3 starts. We've never had anybody try to debut the way that Julian is going to debut on Saturday. If you were Coach Day and Brian Hartline, who are going to be in charge of putting him in positions to succeed, what would you do?
Well, I'll tell you, anytime you got a young quarterback like we do, it's always nice to be able to rely on an offensive line if you have one, and I think we do this year. It's been a question over the last couple of years of, how is that O-line going to look? What are they going to be like? Well, we got 3 returning guys in the middle there, and then we're pretty solid, I feel like, with Searveld on the left tackle and, one of these 2 new guys on the right side. So, in that instance where you feel like you have a good situation up front, I would really like to see them, try and start that run game, just kind of get Julian into the game slowly. Now, on the flip side of that, being an old quarterback, I would like them to call it a go route on the first play and just have, Tate and JJ running down the field and say, Julian, look the safety off and just go to one of them, see if we can connect on a big one. But, I think they'll play it smart and just kind of get that run game and see if that offensive line can get anything moving there because, everybody knows if you can move the ball on the ground, that's just going to open up everything else. And with all the weapons they have, I just don't know how defenses are going to defend these guys. You throw in Max Clare, the tight end coming from Purdue. I mean, he's another just receiver out there, basically. I mean, are you going to put a linebacker on him? Are you going to put a corner on him? How's that going to work? I think you start slow, give him a couple easy passes. I remember back 20 years ago, geez, Bo, 20 years ago is when we played Texas in the shoe. Can you even believe that? But, the first couple of plays were just, we tried to get a swing pass to Teddy, just to get you into the flow of the game. And because there's a lot of nerves on those first snaps. So with a young guy, I wouldn't be too surprised if they come and, try and run the ball a couple plays and then, get to third down and see where you're at and see what you need to call. But I would expect them to kind of lean on those guys up front.
You've been in games like this. Is there a moment, obviously, like the build up to a game like this is unbelievable and the atmosphere is unbelievable and the pomp and circumstance and the crowd and the noises. And I'm sure at the beginning you're hearing all of it, but is there a point in the game when that goes away and it's just football again? Can you take me through that from a quarterback perspective?
Well, I think, it is tough. I mean, I remember that first play in Texas under the lights in 05, and we tried to get that swing pass out to Teddy. And, I remember that snap and just like being on the field before, the refs told us we're allowed to go ahead and do our count and everything. It's just like standing out there like, holy smokes, this this is big time college football here. We got Texas, we got us. We're under the lights in the shoe, and I feel like that you get through a couple drives or you take that first hit, and then you're just back in. All right, this is football. This is what we do. This is what we came here for these types of games, and you just kind of roll with it. So, I think it'll take a few plays to get those, little nerves or that excitement out of the guys, and then once you get into the flow and you take a hit or two or you pick up a first down, then it's like, all right, let's go. We're into training here. We got a first down. Maybe we're running to the line of scrimmage to try and catch them off guard. You just get into that mindset where you're back into your training, you're back into practice, and what you guys are trying to do as far as game plan goes.
Do you? We saw a different Ryan Day in the playoff. It was a chesty. I know who I've got. You try to. It was different. I mean, we all saw it. Do you think that? How does he manage that this year? I think that's who he is in his heart of hearts. I think what we saw in the playoff is who he is, just absolutely fearless in all of it. But you also have this kid making his first start. How do you balance that in terms of, because I think we can all acknowledge what this team is going to be in November, and it's going to be what you just said. I think we all see it. You see this talent at receiver. You see ability to spin it. We've never had a tight end room like this. That's what they're going to be in November, but I don't know if they can be that in August. How do you think Ryan will balance that Saturday?
That's tough. I mean, you got, my first start, we had lost 14 guys to the draft, the year before. I mean, it just is a different look. It's a different feel of a team when you lose that many guys, and so, you have a lot of first-year starters or guys that, are at important positions coming up. You, as a coach, you just hope that you've, been through everything you can in practice. You touched on every little situation. And I imagine coming into this game that, that call sheet for Heartline, in those first 10 plays, the scripted plays that everybody does going into a game, I'm sure they've spent a lot of time on repping those and allowing this team, this offense, young offense to come out and just feel really comfortable with those first couple series, whether it's 10, 15 plays that they've scripted, whatever it is, you hope coming into the game, because that's really what you want. You don't want to go out and have your offense go 2-3 and outs, right? You want them to have a little bit of success, kind of get a feel for what's going on, and you're getting to see what Texas is doing defensively. So I think those first few plays are just going to be huge, and I'm sure they've been repping those. And, then when the guys get on the field, all right, we've been doing this for 2 weeks now. We know what we're calling. We know what we're expecting. And if we don't get what we're expecting, we know where to go and what to do. And I think that's probably just how you would start off with a game like this.
If he struggles early, because, every most popular person in Columbus is always the backup quarterback. You know how that goes.
Except when I was.
But how do you – because a phrase I use around here all the time is 10 feet tall and bulletproof. Your quarterback has to be that way. If it doesn't go well early, how do you get it back on track?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough. I'm a one quarterback guy. I like how they make a decision and go with it. But on the flip side, you have a guy like Lincoln Feinholz, who's an iron buck. He has all the respect of his teammates, and he's really stuck it out. And he's just a heck of an athlete and person. And they've kind of said, hey, we might have a package for him, in this game or early in the season or throughout the season. And if things are struggling a little bit, maybe you go to that early on just to switch things up, give Julian a second to be like, all right, let's take a breath. We're gonna go with this package like we kind of talked about already, so it's not a big deal. We're not taking you out of the game. We're just gonna give you a little break to kind of see things and watch and see what Lincoln can do. I think that's probably something that will happen if we go out and we're 3 and outs, for the first 2 or 3 series. I don't think they jump the gun too quick on that, because you want to give Julian that feel of, this is your team, this is your game, we're not going to pull you. But, if it does start slow, I wouldn't be surprised if Lincoln gets in there and just kind of changes things up with his athletic ability and the things he's able to do.
He's a great friend of the program, Justin Zwick, former Buckeye quarterback. He hosts the fan postgame show with Beam. You'll be able to hear him Saturday after the game against Texas. The other side of this is endlessly fascinating to me, buddy, because I don't know that anyone has been curated to be a professional quarterback the way Arch Manning has been, really from the time he was young. Everything that the Mannings have done to give him a normal experience, and you just listen to him. He just sounds like a pro right now, and he was quite honestly built for that. On the other side of that, the quarterback of that Buckeye defense is Caleb Downs, who guys on this team call him Coach Downs from time to time.
Yep.
And we have Matt Patricia, who we don't know what that's going to look like either. If you're in the position of Matt Patricia and you have a weapon like Caleb Downs, how do you unleash him to try to confuse a quarterback who, based on the way he's been brought up, should be unconfusable?
No, you're right about it. And I think people are going to be very happy. Everything I've heard and seen about Matt Patricia is watch out, because he has these weapons. You talk about Caleb Downs, being a coach on the field. I think Coach Patricia feels that way about a lot of guys on that defense, and he just has a really deep, stock of guys he can go to and different looks that he can pull up and go with. And I think it's going to be an exciting season as far as defense goes, just with the different looks, the different personnel groupings, the different things you can do. Because you got 3 safeties you could put back there and let Caleb just roam and kind of just do what he does on the field. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity for a lot of guys to play. And I think Patricia is a guy who sees that, knows he has really talented players, and he's going to switch things up and get those guys in positions to be successful.
It's great talking to you again, buddy. Absolutely great.
Yeah, buddy.
It's awesome to have you on the team.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the season.
Going to be fun. There he goes. Justin Zwick, former Buckeye captain, and on the Fan post-game show with Brandon Beam, which I believe is the aperitif for the main post-game show, the post-game show hosted by Reese. And did we allow Thidoff to be near that? Did I hear that right? Thidoff's near the post-game show? The show of record, Reese?
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be us doing that. After them, doing that.
Good luck carrying that guy for all the time you're going to have to be carrying him.
You get on that Awaken 180. He's good to go.
That'll be your post-game and your post-game.
Yeah.
They look great. Yeah. I love Thidoff. He knows it. Everybody knows it as well. We'll get 3 things on a Tuesday coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Protect your liver and give it the support it deserves with Active Liver from New Nordic. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
The Daily Ryan Day Show is brought to you locally by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers and by Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
This is the Daily Show with Coach Ryan Day, brought to you by Safe Flight Auto Glass. It's not new within your building here, but new coordinators to start the season. Certainly that has to have been a process that's been interesting from your chair to watch develop.
Yeah, it's part of the game when you have turnover, and it's been good to see both Matt and Brian find their rhythm here in the preseason. Both different situations. Matt's somebody who certainly has coordinated at a high level and has Super Bowl experience, been a head coach. It really helps when you have somebody with head coaching experience that's actually sat in the chair that understands what it's like. And so he's got a lot of great experience and brings that to the table. But the way that he's worked with the guys on staff, we brought in some guys that he's familiar with, but a lot of the guys on the staff were guys that were here before. So finding that chemistry has been important, and then finding what our guys can do well. And then Brian, on the offensive side, has been working well with our staff. He had been a coordinator before, so this is not his first time going through all of this, but now calling plays is what's really going to be different for him, and so we've given him that opportunity here in the preseason, and it's been good, and try to help him along with that process because that's the next natural progression for Brian.
Okay, we'll have another comment in just a moment. Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safe Light Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at SafeLight.com. Safe Light Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safe Light Repair, Safe Light Replace.
Buckeye fans, choose chill. Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. It's got that crisp, refreshing taste that makes those moments when you choose to rise above the noise and choose chill even better. Coors Light is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, so crack one open and take a sip. Coors Light, choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado, beer.
Coach, knowing what the answer is going to be, but if you would just talk a little bit about Mickey Marotti and what he does during the, between spring and start of fall camp, getting kind of the foundation set within the football program.
it's really the backbone of the entire program. That's what I use for the term. And what he does is tremendous. He brings it every single day. He's consistent. He's a truth teller. He instills the leadership, the accountability, the discipline. He's the guy that just says things that maybe some people don't want to say or hear, and that's the job of a coach, to do that. And in the weight room, the weights don't lie. It can be very black and white. I can't say enough about what Mick does for our program.
This is the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Keep your summer fun going at Toyota's National Sales Event. Now through September 2nd, get a stylish new 25 Corolla with 4.99 APR financing or 5.99 on Corolla Hybrid. Excludes Corolla Cross and GR Corolla. Or lease a gas-powered Corolla LE for $199 a month for 36 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
For more than 35 years, Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse has been known by Buckeye Nation as serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks have been a staple in Columbus with 3 locations in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. Hyde Park is proud to introduce our newly added wine room at the downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining will surround you. And coupled with live entertainment every weekend, Hyde Park will be the perfect setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Bobby Carpenter here for Germain Toyota. Swing by Germain Toyota and ask for Marcello and discover unbeatable deals and a wide selection of new and certified pre-owned Toyota vehicles. Visit them at germaintoyota.net. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road.
At Baths R Us, we believe home improvement is life improvement, and that starts with a team who brings your vision to life. Our installers aren't just skilled, they're experts.
This is who we are. This is what we do all day, every day.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsrus.com. 380-225-2284. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
With business banking, Tel Ohio Credit Union takes it personally. It's why they are the #1 SBA lender among Ohio credit unions. You are a member, not a number. That's the Tel Ohio difference. Visit telhio.org/business.
Certain restrictions apply. Tel Ohio is open to all in Central and Southwestern Ohio. Federally insured by NCUA.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Our top men are working on everything except this show.
We have top men working on it right now. Who? Top men.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, Reese, what do you have on the poll today?
Daily Fan Poll asks, outside of the wide receiver room, which offensive position group do you have the most confidence in on Saturday against top-ranked Texas? Quarterback, running back, tight end, offensive line are your 4 options. 44% of respondents to the Daily Fan Poll say they're more confident in the tight end group than the other 3. 37% say the offensive line, 13% say the running back, 5% say the quarterback room is the room they have the second most confidence in outside of the wide receivers for the Buckeyes.
So it went receivers, tight ends, line, running backs, quarterbacks.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's pretty fair. I do think the offensive line is going to be ready to roll. They were thrust in last year with those injuries, and I think the offensive line is I think the strength of this team are the offensive line and the receivers, and I'm putting the tight ends into the receivers, and then it just comes back to that whole thing about Julian, like what he's going to be in 2 months is very different than what you're going to see on Saturday. It doesn't mean he can't be great. If he is, then my God, what a run you're in for. But at the same time, like it's a lot to start your first ever game in a game like this. But yeah, I think they largely got that right. All right, time for 3 things on a Tuesday. Hit it, guys.
1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Buckeye Lake Marina, Central Ohio's largest selection of new and pre-owned boats. Find your next dream boat at BuckeyeLakeMarina.com.
All right, number 1 for me, I saw Gordon Gee returning to Ohio State as a kind of a bit of a consultant, the legendary president here. And I'll tell you what, I have a connection to Coach Gee. One of the first things that my wife, when he returned from Vanderbilt, my wife flew down to Nashville to do the presser she was at NBC4 at the time, and I remember that vividly. I've had so many great conversations with him through the years. And then a couple of years ago, we went down to the Greenbrier. He was the president at West Virginia. We went down to the Greenbrier, and we're going to dinner. And they have one restaurant there where you have to wear like suit and tie in order to be served. And as we came out of the elevator, there's a couch, and Gordon Gee was taking a nap on the couch. And I thought, when you're the president of West Virginia, you answer to nobody. You sleep wherever you want.
Bow tie on, I'm sure.
Bow tie on, yes, fact.
First thing for me, it looks like YouTube TV and Fox are doing the dance right before the college football season, of where if they don't come to terms on an agreement, you, YouTube TV subscribers, could lose out on all your wonderful Fox-related channels. And I just say to you out there, get rabbit ears. They're like $20 at Target. That's how I'm watching Saturday's game. You don't get a delay. You don't have to worry about buffering or using your internet. Like, the rabbit ears are still really good in situations like this and probably several more during the college and NFL seasons.
We're always going to be leveraged, aren't we? We're always going to be leveraged.
It's so schemy.
Always, yeah.
I saw this from Adam King earlier on Twitter as we're 4 days away from kickoff. The last time Ohio State and Texas played in the shoe, it was number 4 with the first touchdown for Ohio State, and he caught that from number 10. Back then, it was Troy Smith to Santonio Holmes. Maybe a little foreshadowing for Saturday. Julian Sayin to Jeremiah Smith. First touchdown?
When Zwick talked about, if I'm a quarterback, I wouldn't mind running a go first. Reese, I was watching him in the stream. He's like Tony Montana after the big snort, like bouncing around as fast as he. I mean, that's all we want. Is
I got to find a new gimmick though, because now it's just a regular play. At least it should be with this Ohio State offense.
Number 2 for me. This dovetails into my number 2. So I finally just gave in to my temptations, and I decided to start a dynasty on College Football 26 with the Ohio State Buckeyes. So I played the Texas game, played a little warm-up. I played against the boys a little bit, so let's get into it. The game's awesome. The experience is awesome. We did beat Texas. It was tight. 24-21 was the final. Touchdown late to kind of close the thing out. Julian was great in the game. There's one thing the game does, though, that's quite honestly insane. So on deep routes, your receiver, and anyone who's played the game knows that this is what happens. Your receiver, this happened 3 times in the game against Texas. Jeremiah did it once. Carnell did it twice. They will catch the ball. Like, they will physically catch the ball with 2 hands. And if you're watching on the stream, they will then catch it and then throw it behind their head. Like, just throw it. It's like a glitch. So they go up high for a high point catch, and then just when they get hit, they just throw it backwards. And sometimes it's even picked. It's the craziest damn thing. Really fun game, but a big time glitch in the college that may have caused a near throw of a controller last night. May or may not.
Sorry, second thing for me, because there's been a little bit of confusion, I think, in the YouTube chat. Where you don't need the digital antenna, but if you go to Target and buy a set of rabbit ears, it is a digital antenna. Like, nowadays, they're not just going to sell you the analog; they all are digital because Tegna, Nextar, Sinclair all sent everything out over digital airwaves, and it's not an HDMI connection. There isn't like an old analog port. Is this really where I'm coming out as the old guy?
That's where you're at now.
What
I think that's the can of worms.
Absolute hell.
That's what you've just become.
I'll bring a PowerPoint presentation Friday, and we'll lead you through it. If you show up at the O-On Lane, we'll have the PowerPoint presentation on how to connect your rabbit ears to a television.
There you go.
To a current, updated television without need of an HDMI port.
People got TVs they need to get up and turn the dial on? Or
Unreal.
What's going on here? Second thing for me, I thought this was pretty cool. First time in the central Ohio area, at least, maybe even the state of Ohio, we had an outdoor volleyball match last night. Hilliard-Darby hosted Hilliard-Bradley over at Darby High School. Darby wins it in 5 sets, so the home team gets the win. What was it? Nebraska did that in the football stadium a while ago. Hilliard-Darby does it last night. Pretty cool event happening over there.
Very cool of them to get that in. Finally, quickly for me, today is NFL Cutdown Day. I just find it hilarious. Folks, these are the last people on rosters. The last. Difference makers are never cut. Never. It's all going to be fine.
Final thing for me, so now it's become he said, in regards to the pizza man banned from the shoe. Brady Quinn was on with a Cleveland radio station this morning and says he doesn't know who's banning who or anything like that. But he says that they expect the Fox Big Noon Kick crew, when they're in Ohio Stadium, to have Matthew McConaughey join them in the horseshoe on the set.
Thanks, guys.
Rothman and Ice coming up next.
Get Vince Vaughn on a plane.
Actually, Ryan Day will come up next, his first press conference of the year. Tyvis Powell, Austin Ward later with the boys.
All right, there you go. You have that to look forward to, which is nice. We're back tomorrow. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
1, 2, 3. Here in The Fan is always football o'clock. Proud to be your home of the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. The Fan.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments, including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
Dormar, your pilot hero.
Hey friends, Beamer here. Summer's winding down, but you know what? There's still time to drop 20 with Awaken 180's 20-pound summer slim down. That's how I got started, 20 gone fast, and it propelled me straight to my goal of dropping over 75 pounds. You'll still eat, drink, enjoy summer, but the scale's finally moving. Then you finally hit fall with some energy, confidence, and clothes that actually fit again. Awaken 180's coaches, they keep you on track so the weight stays off. You can go to awaken180weightloss.com to start your first 20 now and finish summer on a win streak.
At High Bank Distillery, they believe every pour should tell a story. Their Whiskey War spirits tell the story of Prohibition in every sip and was awarded the best blended whiskey in America 3 years running. Enjoy High Bank's nationally recognized spirits distilled right here in Ohio. Drink the best. Forget the rest. Learn more at highbankdistillery.com.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. My good friends over at Sleep Better Columbus want you to know that if you're 65 or older, enjoying those golden years, but maybe you're dealing with restless nights, you need to listen up. Are you tossing and turning, struggling with sleep apnea, and that leaves you wiped out during the day? Well, it's time to reclaim your rest with Dr. Mark Levy at Sleep Better Columbus. As a leading provider in non-surgical sleep apnea treatments, Dr. Levy helps you breathe easier and sleep deeper with custom oral appliances, a comfortable alternative to CPAP. The best part is that Sleep Better Columbus is in network with most medical insurance plans and is a proud Medicare provider, so your coverage can work seamlessly with Sleep Better Columbus. And as we head toward the end of the year, don't let those benefits go unused. You don't want to wait to use your deductible. Act now to make the most of it with Sleep Better Columbus. Call Sleep Better Columbus today at 800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com. Once again, that number, 800-MORE-SLEEP or sleepbettercolumbus.com for your consultation. Sleep better, live better. You've earned it.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.